Chapter 1652. Forget about it, we'll talk about it later. So you really didn't dare to make any aggressive moves on Huamin. After all, she was still grieving the loss of Qin Chu. Plus, she was pregnant. She was weak, and he didn't want to take advantage of her. So, he really had to leave it to fate. If fate brought them together, he and Huamin might end up together. If fate didn't bring them together, even if Qin Chu really died and never came back, he might not have a chance at all. He knew Huamian's personality too well. During dinner, Zhu Lingling got up to go to the washroom. Seeing that it was time, Huamin immediately turned around and took out the brocade box from his bag. Then, he handed it to Gao Ran. "What's this?" Gao Ran froze. "Diamond ring," Huamin answered calmly. Gao Ran. Everyone was dumbfounded. Huamin gave Gao Ran a diamond ring? What was going on? Wasn't the diamond ring a godly item that only two people used to confess their feelings? Jiang Xiaowei was the only one who reacted quickly. She immediately said, "Mian, do you want Gao Ran to propose to Lingling? I already said that I like you. You know me slightly just by looking at us." Huamin intimately raised his arm and wrapped it around Jiang Xiaowei's neck. "Propose?" Gao Ran was dumbfounded. "Don't you want to?" "Of course I want to, but this is too sudden. I didn't prepare anything." "Didn't I prepare it for you?" Huamin pointed at the brocade box. Tang Chuan nosily leaned over and took a look. "Damn, this ring is at least 3 carats. More than 500,000 yuan? Dr. Hua is super rich." Tang Chuan gave him a thumbs up. "Wow, so expensive. How can I afford it?" Although Gao Ran came from a high-ranking family, he didn't have that much money. Therefore, he was a little surprised that the ring was worth more than 500,000 yuan all of a sudden. "This is a gift from me. You just need to propose to Lingling with it." Huamin looked at Gao Ran calmly. "Titi, there's no flower." Gao Ran was at a loss of what to do. "I have this." After Tang Chuan finished speaking, he picked up a small bouquet of red roses from the furnishings in the private room and stuffed it into Gao Ran's hand. "Brother, tell me, what else do you need?" "I have everything here," Tang Chuan asked with a smile. Gao Ran held the flowers in one hand and the ring in the other. He was indeed a little confused. It was too sudden. He had always wanted to marry Lingling and had proposed to her before. However, Lingling said that she wanted to wait until Huamin was pregnant. Although Huamin was pregnant, Qin Chu was in trouble, so he didn't dare to bring it up again. He didn't expect Huamin to bring it up today. Just as he was hesitating, Jiang Xiaowei suddenly lowered her voice and said, "Hurry up and get ready. She's back." As soon as she finished speaking, Zhu Lingling opened the door of the private room and walked out after washing her hands. Tang Chuan pushed Gao Ran and immediately pushed him in front of Zhu Lingling. "What's going on?" Zhu Lingling looked at Gao Ran, who was holding the ring and flowers, in confusion. Before Gao Ran could speak, Huamin stood up and asked with a smile, "Miss Zhu Lingling, will you marry Mr. Gao Ran and be his wife, in sickness and in poverty, until the end of your life?" "Mian, what are you pranking me for?" Zhu Lingling thought it was a prank. Meanwhile, Tang Chuan was still humming the wedding march. Dang, 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 dang. Then she saw Gao Ran slowly open the brocade box and kneel on one knee. He looked at Zhu Lingling with deep love in his eyes and said gently, "Lingling, let's get married, marry me, fuck." Zhu Lingling was so shocked that she cursed. Chapter 1653. It was a good thing that everyone was used to her wild personality. "He's proposing to you. What's with your expression?" Jiang Xiaowei asked with a smile. Tang Chuan and the others cheered and clapped. "Say yes, say yes." "This is a bit too sudden, isn't it? Didn't you say that you'd marry Gao Ran after I got pregnant? But I'm already 2 months pregnant." "Miss Zhu Lingling, you have to keep your word," Huamin corrected her. "No, I mean it's not the right time. After all, Qin Chu will come back. He'll be happy for you guys. Lingling, there are many things in life that you can't wait for. Don't regret it when you miss it. You guys have everything you want now. Don't do anything that will make you regret it. Not every couple that met in their youth has the chance to become husband and wife." Huamin's words were very persuasive. This idiot. Where did he get the flowers and the ring? This is so unexpected. Zhu Lingling's eyes glistened with tears. It was obvious that she was touched. Why do you care so much? We're looking at Captain Gao's sincerity and heart. Wei Liao interrupted. If you don't say yes, I'm going to get up. It hurts to kneel. Gao Ran teased. Fuck, don't you dare. If you get up, I'll break your legs. After Zhu Lingling finished speaking, everyone burst into laughter. 3 seconds later, Zhu Lingling reached out her hand. Gao Ran happily took out the ring and put it on her finger. Then, he handed her the rose's kiss. Kiss. Tang Chuan wasn't afraid of things getting out of hand. Zhu Lingling was also very generous. She grabbed Gao Ran's head and kissed him on the lips. She was extremely bold, especially with the straightforwardness and rudeness of a northern woman. Applause sounded. Huamin looked at the two of them with gratification and smiled silently. Suyu finally realized that the brocade box that Huamin secretly hid contained a ring. He didn't even know when she bought it. What a thoughtful girl. Hurry up and set a date so we can attend the wedding. Don't do it when I'm in confinement, Jiang Xiaowei complained. Yeah. Don't do it when I'm in confinement. Huamin agreed. You two pregnant women. You have so many things to do. Do you still want to be in-laws? If you want to be a good girl? Huamin smiled and threatened them. I think next month is a good day. It's already spring in Beifeng, so it's not that cold anymore. How about next month? I think there's no time like the present. Today is a good day, Tang Chuan interrupted. It's easy for you guys to say that. Zhu Lingling giggled in Gao Ran's arms. Huamin could see the happiness on her face. It seemed that her preparations were correct. Although Mr. Qin wasn't here, if he was, he would support her plan. So we can eat wedding candies? Suyu, who had been silent all this time, smiled. So, shouldn't Captain Gao foot the bill today? After all, it's a happy occasion. Tang Chuan teased. Sure, I'll buy it. Let's get drunk. Gao Ran said straightforwardly. It could be seen that Gao Ran loved Zhu Lingling very much. After the proposal was successful, his eyes were filled with unconcealable surprise. If Huamin didn't urge them, who knew when these two stubborn donkeys would get married? They couldn't live together illegally forever, right? During the banquet, everyone drank and chatted merrily and chatted happily. Huamin used the excuse of going out to get some fresh air and walked out of the private room to the balcony of the hotel alone. He stood there in a daze, enjoying the breeze. Suyu looked at his watch. It had been 10 minutes, but Huamin still hadn't returned. He stood up worriedly. You guys eat first? I'll go check on her. After Suyu stood up and walked out, Wei Liao suddenly asked, Do you guys think Lord Su is happy or in pain right now? Everyone fell silent after Wei Liao asked this question. Chapter 1654. I think Suyu might fall deeper and deeper, Jiang Xiaowei said. I think this time, Lord Su's dream came true. Isn't that a good thing? Although you guys are Qin Chu's fans and might scold me, I still have to make a fair analysis. If Qin Chu really dies, it's also a chance for Suyu. Because in this world, the most suitable person for Huamin is Lord Su. At the same time, Huamin is also the woman that Lord Su loves the most. Tang Chuan immediately went on a ramble. Mian won't fall in love with someone else so easily. Zhu Lingling was unconvinced. I know she won't fall in love easily. It's just a matter of time. I don't believe that in 5 or 10 years, Lord Su won't get married. He'll stay by her side and take care of her and their children. Then, who can guarantee that Huamin won't fall in love with him? After all, humans aren't saints. Who can be so cold-blooded and heartless forever? It was very surprising that Tang Chuan could say something so profound. It was obvious that he was very protective of Suyu. Gao Ran nodded and analyzed objectively. Tang Chuan is right. It's just a matter of time. But with Suyu's status, it's unlikely that he won't get married in 5 or 10 years, right? The Su family probably won't allow it. Besides, if Huamin gives birth to the twins, she'll be a single mother. Would the Su family accept such a granddaughter-in-law? I'm going to argue with you. Don't you know how Lord Su threatened Lord Su this time? Although the Su family is rich and powerful, They're not unreasonable. As far as I know, Mrs. Su really likes Huamin. What about Lord Su? Even if he can't accept Huamin, he definitely won't stop his grandson if he really loves her. Jiang Shaowei took a sip of mineral water and said, "It's still too early to talk about this. In the end, let's see how things develop, right?" Wei Liao nodded. "Anyway, I also think that if Qin Shu really can't come back, then without a doubt, Lord Su is the most suitable person to take care of Huamin for the rest of his life." After Wei Liao finished speaking, the whole audience was silent. No one objected. They all knew how Su Yu felt about Huamin. In the long corridor of the hotel, Huamin stood on the windowsill, which was not very high. Looking down, this was the 6th floor. It wasn't very high, but the view was very good. The Tang family's private kitchen was located in a very private place. There was a courtyard in front and a garden in the back. From Huamin's angle, she could see the trees and potted plants in the backyard. It was beautiful. Even though spring had not officially arrived in the north, it was already a lot warmer. There were also swallows that had flown back from the south and were starting to build their nests under the eaves. Huamin reached out and opened the window. A gust of cool wind blew over, instantly clearing up her mind. She placed her hand on her stomach and said softly, "Qin Shu, do you see? Spring is here, but you haven't come home yet. If you can't come back, tell me in my dreams, okay? I'll take the baby to the other world to find you." Huamin was actually feeling hopeless because she didn't know how much longer she could wait. It was so far away. Therefore, in that moment, she had the urge to speak softly. The wind blew, and her frail body swayed. It was as if she could be blown away by the wind at any moment. When Su Yu went out to look for Huamin, he saw this frightening scene. Huamin stood on the windowsill on the 6th floor with the windows wide open. In that instant, his heart jumped into his throat. "Huamin, what do you want?" Su Yu was angry. Chapter 1655. Huamin slowly turned around and smiled when she saw Su Yu. "Nothing, I just wanted to get some fresh air. Hurry up and come down." This was the first time Su Yu had spoken so loudly to Huamin. His tone was filled with worry and blame. "Okay, I'm coming down." Just as Huamin was about to move, she suddenly realized that something was wrong. She couldn't move because her leg was cramping. Seeing that Huamin's expression wasn't right, Su Yu immediately became nervous. "What's wrong?" "My leg is cramping, it hurts." Upon hearing Huamin's words, Su Yu immediately rushed over and carried Huamin down from the windowsill. Then, he quickly walked into the private room. "You guys eat first, Huamin's leg is cramping. I have to take her back to the hospital for a checkup." After speaking, he left without looking back. Everyone was left alone in the private room. Confused, Tang Chuan, "It's just a cramp. Look at how nervous Lord Su is." Jiang Shaowei, "Actually, it's normal for pregnant women to have cramps. Maybe it's because of a lack of calcium. I sometimes have them too." Wei Liao, "That's why Lord Su is so nervous." Zhu Lingling, "I think I'm starting to become a fan of Su Yu. He's so manly." Gao Ran, "So does my proposal still count?" Ms. Zhu Lingling, "When do you plan to hold a wedding with me?" After Gao Ran asked this question, everyone laughed again. Zhu Lingling's face turned red. "Let's talk about it when I'm in a better mood." After Su Yu sent Huamin to the military hospital, he immediately did a full-body checkup. After confirming that there were no problems, he finally relaxed. In the hospital room, Huamin was resting with the help of a nurse. "Don't worry, she's really fine." Huamin smiled as she comforted Su Yu. "To be honest, for a moment just now, you actually wanted to kill yourself, right?" "A little bit, but I just thought about it. I didn't do it. After all, I have 2 babies. I can't let them down." "Huamin, don't do anything stupid. Don't scare me. Don't die, okay?" Su Yu was truly scared. The thing that he feared the most in his life was losing Huamin. The scene just now, he was so scared that his heart felt like it was going to jump out. No one could empathize with him. No. "Live on. Be strong and live on. Everything will pass." "Yes. Then you should rest early. I'll come and see you later." "Okay." After Hudo comfort means to mean to's mean. At the door, Huamin was surrounded by the top-notch bodyguards that he assigned to him. Huamin was the only one in the entire military hospital who received such treatment. Every day, he carefully selected the food that he ate. Everything he ate was made with the best ingredients. The fruits were freshly picked from the garden, and the water he drank was strictly purified. Suyu really did everything he could. This was something that many women envied. The nurse poured Huamin a glass of water and handed it to him. "Miss Hua, young Master Su is so good to you." Huamin only smiled faintly and didn't say anything else. Suyu drove straight back to the Su family's mansion. Mrs. Su was eating dinner alone at home. "Son, have you eaten yet?" "I have." "Then come and have a bowl of soup to warm yourself up." Mrs. Su scooped a bowl of red bean soup and handed it to him. Suyu took off his jacket and the maid hung it up. Then he washed his hands, walked to the dining table, and sat down next to his mother. "Have you been tired from work recently? You don't look so good." "I'm not tired." "Then why do you look so tired? Are you sick?" Mrs. Su asked with concern. "No." After speaking, Suyu picked up the red bean soup and quietly drank it. Mrs. Su was thinking about what to ask next when Suyu put down the bowl and suddenly said, "Mom, I want to ask you for a favor." "Go ahead." "I want Huamin to move in with us." "What?" Mrs. Su was slightly surprised. Chapter 1656. I want Huamin to move in with us." "Why?" Mrs. Su was confused. "Because I don't think the hospital is safe." "That's a military hospital. How can it be unsafe?" "Not being safe is only one reason. The other reason is that it doesn't feel like home. I don't want her to spend the rest of her pregnancy there. She's still a few months away from giving birth. It's so sad that she doesn't have a family by her side. Our house is so big, and Grandpa and Dad aren't home often. Wouldn't it be nice to have one more person by your side?" "That's true, but there's no reason for her to live with us. She's not your girlfriend or your daughter-in-law." Mrs. Su's words made sense. Who said that only girlfriends and daughters-in-law can live with us? Seriously, I always thought you were an open-minded person, but why are you still so old-fashioned, Mrs. Su? Mrs. Su didn't know what to say. Suyu continued, "Our house is very safe. A soldier is here to protect our house because of Grandpa. So, I think it's the safest place for Huamian to live. Even an international assassin wouldn't be able to enter our house. It's enough for her to give birth to the baby safely, so that bitch won't try to hurt her." "Hurt her? Someone wants to hurt Huamin?" "Of course. Do you think I'd go through all this trouble? Plus, I'm sure Huamian won't want to come. She's a very shy and prideful girl. I'll have to trouble you to do this yourself." Mrs. Su was speechless. "That's why I'm begging you. Can I say no?" Mrs. Su suddenly felt that her son's request was too difficult. "Are you still my biological mother?" "Mrs. Su, but your dad and Grandpa, I'll talk to them myself." "Don't worry." "But, hey, no buts. If you don't say anything, then it's settled." "I'll go to the jewelry room and get someone to decorate it tomorrow. She'll move in next week." Then, Suyu got up and went upstairs. "This child is really mischievous. Will it work?" Mrs. Su was also nervous. She didn't discuss it with her husband and father-in-law before letting Huamin move in. Was it really reliable? Suyu was a man of his word. He began to tidy up the room upstairs in the Su family's villa. He cleared out the room he usually stayed in and moved to the study next door. There was a single bed in the study. Although it was a little small, it was clean and tidy. If Huamin could move in, then he would live next door. He suddenly felt so close to her, so happy. Late at night, at the Hua family's mansion with Si Qian, was having a party with the top management of the entertainment company, a few directors, and a group of bikini-clad beauties by the pool at home. It was very lively. The scene was also a restricted level image. A director was kissing a third-rate actress under his company, as if no one else was around. Hua Si Qian, on the other hand, was calmly smoking his cigar with a smile on his face. It was as if he was watching a TV show. Over the years, he had seen many scenes like this. After he started his own entertainment company, he knew the rules, so he was doing very well. Just then, a notification came from his phone. He opened WeChat and saw a video. Hua Si Qian's eyes changed slightly. He squinted and looked at it carefully. Chapter 1657. It was a video of Hua Min eating silently with his head down. Su had sent a lot of people to the military base, so his men couldn't get in. Therefore, he could only bribe the nurse and ask her to send him a video occasionally. In the video, Hua Min was wearing a white shirt and looked very clean. His hair was messy and there was no makeup on his face. He looked as pure and innocent as when he was in school. However, his face was slightly chubber. Her face was very quiet, without a smile or loneliness. He liked it the most when she was quiet like this. If it wasn't for that damn Suyu interrupting them, he would have been in the middle of the night. Right now, he should be on some island in Australia, living a peaceful life with Hua Min. He wouldn't be here looking at the video and missing her. Mian, you really make me think about you all the time, he whispered as he looked at the video. He had a gentle smile on his face. President Hua, want to have a drink? A young model with a hot body walked up to him. I'm not good with alcohol. Then let's play rock, paper, scissors. Not in the mood. Then why don't you touch my chest and see what size it is? After speaking, before Huasiqian could react, the model quickly grabbed Huasiqian's hand and placed it on her burning breasts. Huasiqian took his hand back and smiled meaningfully. To be honest, it's not that interesting. I'm a little tired of it. The model smiled awkwardly and tactfully turned around to leave. Just then, someone in the crowd yelled, Emo Schwer is here. Everyone's eyes turned in that direction. Emo Schwer appeared not far away in a dark red bikini. Huasiqian didn't invite her, so it seemed like she came after hearing the news. Schwer, long time no see. Hi, Director Zhu. Long time no see. Emo Schwer smiled sweetly. Schwer, do you want to sit here and have a drink? It's okay. Producer, I'm here to see President Hua. Wow, you're so sweet. Everyone in the industry knew that Emo Schwer and Huasiqian were together for many years, so it went without saying. Huasiqian knew that Emo Schwer was here and that she was walking towards him, but he didn't look up. It was as if he didn't see her. What's going on? You don't see me? What do you want? Huasiqian's index finger spun on the table. Can't I come to you for free? Emo Schwer walked over and sat down next to Huasiqian. Then, she intimately in raps, however, Huasiqian bounced her away. What? Your new girlfriend? You Schwer's? Schwer. I was a girl of Hua Schwer. What? Emo Schwer. O's expression changed. Haven't you been in a relationship with Jiangyi lately? He's been at your apartment for so many days now. If you're going to play with him, then play with him. You should act like a prostitute. Don't be so fickle. After all, you're not a prostitute, so you should know your place. Huasiqian, is that how you look at me? Emo Schwer stared at Huasiqian with an ugly expression. What else can I do? Do you think you're a fairy in my heart? Huasiqian flicked the cigarette ash in his hand and smiled slightly. Emo Schwer was so angry that her whole body trembled. Huasiqian, you're a man. Don't be so mean with your words. Mean? I think I've been too kind to you. Emo Schwer. Do you know when to stop? Do you know that you won't die if you don't ask for it? So now that you're done with me, you want to dump me? Throw me away like trash? Emo Schwer was obviously not satisfied. You're mistaken. You're exaggerating. Trash doesn't talk as much as you do. Emo Schwer was so angry that she didn't know what to say. Then, she changed the topic and asked, Are you frustrated because Hua Min is pregnant with twins? How did you know about this? Huasiqian looked at Emo Schwer with a dark expression. His eyes were terrifyingly cold. Chapter 1658. What? Are you scared? Emo Schwer looked at Huasiqian proudly. However, Huasiqian suddenly grabbed her wrist. What? Are you hurting me? Tell me. How did you find out? Did you investigate her? Huasiqian's expression couldn't get any uglier. He really didn't like how Emo Schwer kept staring at Hua Min. I didn't. Then how did you find out? I have a loyal fan who works at the military hospital and sees Hua Min every day. She sent me a WeChat message. I didn't tell anyone, Emo Schwer argued. However, Huasiqian obviously didn't believe her. I'm telling you, stay away from her. Even if I help you get her, can't I? No, get lost. I don't need your help. Huasiqian gave Emo Shui a hard shove. If it weren't for the fact that she bumped into someone behind her, she really would have fallen into the swimming pool. Emo Shui was so embarrassed that she got up and left angrily. Schwer, you're leaving so soon? The directors greeted her. Emo Schwer didn't reply. Huamin, you only have eyes for that little bitch Huamin. I'll deal with her sooner or later. Emo Schwer cursed Huamin the entire way. The next morning, Huamin woke up in the morning. After breakfast, he was about to turn on the TV for prenatal education. Just then, he heard the nurse who was taking care of him yell, "Miss Hua, someone's here to see you." Just as Huamin was wondering who it was, he saw the person push open the door and walk in. She was wearing a white suit and looked very clean and elegant. "Andy, Sue." Huamin was a little surprised. "Mian, sit down." Suyu's mother walked over and put down the fruits and flowers in her hands. Then, she carefully helped Huamin up. "I'm fine. Mian, how far along are you?" "It's only been 2 months. I can't tell." Huamin smiled. "I heard from you. I'm sorry that I didn't come to see you until now." No. Annie Sue, please don't say that. I'm really grateful that you came. You're an elder. If it weren't for the fact that I can't move freely, I would have visited you a long time ago. Huamin especially respected Su Yu's mother. He had interacted with her at Southside before, and she was a well-educated woman. "Don't say that. It's rare that we're fated to meet. I like you, kid. You and you are good friends, so you really don't have to treat me like an outsider." "All right." Huamin was still a little reserved when he saw Lady Su. Lady Su put the lavender and lilies she bought into the vase. Then, she took out an apple and carefully peeled it for Huamin. "Mian, you need to eat some apples, okay? Apples contain a lot of vitamins." "Okay. Look at my memory. I forgot that you're a doctor and know more than I do, huh?" Then, she couldn't help but giggle like an innocent little girl. Huamin couldn't help but laugh as well. "Let me tell you, sometimes I have a tendency to forget things." Even Suyu said that I don't know if I'll get Alzheimer's in the future. When I took care of you, he ate a lot of apples. That's why he was born white and chubby. He's a little tan now because of the sun in the army. Anyway, just eat more apples. "Okay, I'll listen to you." Huamin nodded, and a trace of warmth flashed across his heart. His mother wasn't by his side, and it had been a long time since an elder spoke to him like this. He felt very gratified. As they chatted, they reached the main point. Huamin took the apple from Lady Su and took a bite. Then, she heard Mrs. Su ask, "Mian, actually, I came here today to ask if you can move in with us." "Ahem, what did you say?" Huamin almost choked on the apple. Chapter 1659. "I actually want you to move in with me." Lady Su looked at Huamin and said gently, "Auntie, I can't do that. I already owe the Su family a lot. I know that if it weren't for Su Yu begging Lord Su this time, I might have already been." Zhu Lingling, that gossipy person, had already told Huamin in private how Su Yu threatened his grandpa to save the damsel in distress. Huamin felt extremely bad after hearing this, but she never asked Su Yu about it. After all, if he asked about it, she couldn't say anything. Other than saying, "Thank you," there was nothing else she could do now. Therefore, she planned to remember this favor silently in her heart. If Su Yu really needed her help in the future, she would do whatever she could to save him. Then it would really be a mountain of daggers and a sea of flames. He would not shirk his duty. In this world, there was no greater favor than saving a life. Unfortunately, in today's society, people were used to taking and receiving, but they forgot to have a grateful heart. Don't say that. Since you're Yu's good friend, he won't ignore your safety. To be honest, this time, it seemed easy to bail you out from prison to the military and then to the hospital, but in fact, my father did put in a lot of effort. The military isn't as simple as people think. The higher your rank, the more careful you have to be. Otherwise, you might accidentally drag your family into eternal damnation. I don't mean anything by telling you this, but since the Su family saved you, it proves that you're worth it. Also, from a personal standpoint, I'll never believe that you're that murderer. I don't know the whole story, and I won't ask about it. I believe that you have your reasons. But since you're safe now, you'll be fine in the future. Auntie Sue, I can't go to your house. Huamin seemed to be in a hurry to refuse. However, Lady Sue held Huamin's hand and said in a serious tone, Mian, don't worry. Listen to me first. Okay. Huamin nodded. You're now 2 months pregnant, and you're twins, so this process must be difficult. It's a little more difficult than normal pregnant women. Your family members are not by your side for special reasons, so it's not a foolproof plan for you to stay in the hospital. Also, I heard from you that the hospital isn't safe. It seems like someone wants to harm you. Lady Sue didn't know about the grudge between Huasiqian and Huamin, but she vaguely heard from Su Yu that someone was constantly endangering Huamin's safety. Huamin didn't say anything and continued to listen. Also, my dad went to see Mayor Song that day and had a long talk. I don't need to say more about Mayor Song. You should know him, right? He's the father of the victim this time. He only has one daughter, and it's obvious how he's feeling after losing her. Now that you're out in one piece, he couldn't hold it in and immediately questioned my dad about the details of the incident. Between the lines, my dad analyzed that Mayor Song might not let this go. He must hate you to the core. After all, he thinks you're the suspect in his daughter's death. Huamin nodded, thinking that Lady Sue had a point. Mayor Song is the highest authority in the city. His influence is not to be underestimated. The military hospital is too big, and there are too many people. It's inevitable that we'll make mistakes. If his people are really there, they might accidentally cause an accident and cause you to lose the baby, let alone something serious. So, I hope you can think about the baby and be selfish. Move to our place. The reason why I'm asking you to move to our place is because the Su family is the safest place right now. Because of my dad, there's a regiment of soldiers guarding our residential area. Not even a high-level assassin can sneak in, let alone the mayor's people. The security is very tight. Just bear with it for a while and wait until the baby is born. It won't be too late for you to move out then. Mayor Song is still angry right now, and Yu is really afraid that he'll do something to you. That's why we came up with this plan. We're not trying to make things difficult for you. Chapter 1660. Auntie Sue, I understand your good intentions, but I don't have the right to move into the Su family with my status. I'll bring you trouble. Plus, Su Yu is still single. I'm afraid that if word gets out, it won't be good for him, Huamin said tactfully. The Su family isn't afraid of being implicated. We'll protect you well and won't let the media spread rumors. As for Su Yu, I've already thought about it. After you move in, I'll ask him to move out and not allow him to live at home. That's because it'll also affect your reputation. If your husband comes back one day and sees you at home, it might cause a misunderstanding. So, I might as well not let him come back. Auntie Sue, To be honest, Lady Sue's words were too careful. Even someone as smart as Huamin didn't know how to refuse. She had said so much for him. If he insisted on not going at this time, he would seem too pretentious. Seeing Huamin hesitate, Lady Sue said, My dad and my husband are rarely at home. My family is in the south, and I'm usually alone at home. It's very boring. If you can go, I'll have one more person to accompany me. As long as you don't mind my nagging. Why would I? You're such a nice person. I really like you. Huamin praised Lady Sue from the bottom of his heart. Lady Sue's eyes lit up, and she excitedly grabbed Huamin's hand. That's great. Then you agree. It's settled then. Hey, Auntie Sue, after I tidy up the room in a few days, I'll ask you to bring you over. You'll have to suffer for a few more days. Don't worry, I'm very good at taking care of pregnant women. I've also given birth before, so I'm very experienced. Lady Sue looked very happy. Huamin didn't know what to say. He couldn't refuse anymore. The Sue family had been very kind to her, and she didn't want Lady Sue to feel bad. Moreover, they had already said that they had already kicked Su Yu out in order to bring her over, and his goal was to protect her until she gave birth. To be honest, Huamin also felt that it would be safer to go to the Su family. Otherwise, even if there were bodyguards here, he would still be afraid that the pervert Huasiqian would suddenly make a move on him one day. Huamin was not afraid of death, but if he accidentally lost the baby, How could he face Qin Shu in the future? Facing the Qin family's in-laws? In the end, Huamin nodded. Then, I'll have to trouble Annie from now on. What are you talking about? It's no trouble at all. We just have another daughter in our family. Lady Su smiled gently. Huamin was also very, very touched. Huamin didn't ask Lady Su if this was Su Yu's idea. Moreover, with Lady Su's intelligence, she wouldn't say anything. However, Huamin knew in his heart that Su Yu must have asked his mother to persuade Huamin, because if it were Su Yu, Huamin would definitely refuse. No matter what he said, she wouldn't move to the Su family's house. Just as Huamin said, what identity would she have to go to the Su family's house? She wouldn't have a legitimate reason. However, if it were Su Yu's mother who said these words, it would be different. She was an elder, and she was so good at talking. She clearly analyzed the pros and cons of this matter from start to finish. At this point, if you didn't go, you wouldn't be doing them a favor. Therefore, Su Yu was very powerful and directly asked his mother to come out. She persuaded Huamin in one go. That night, when Su Yu came home from work for dinner, he couldn't wait to ask his mother, "Mom, did you go to the military hospital? Did you see Huamin? Did you talk about that matter?" Chapter 1661. I'll go. Young Master Su. How can I not do what you want me to do? Ha! Mom, stop messing around. Let's talk nicely. Su Yu hugged his mother's shoulders and acted cute. Clean up the house for the next few days and disinfect it thoroughly. Also, prepare some new daily necessities and bring Mian back in a few days. Mom, she agreed. Su Yu was ecstatic. Of course, Mian is a very sensible child. She should understand what I'm saying. What did you say? I'm curious. Su Yu admired his mother. It's not something you should worry about. Oh, by the way, when Mian comes over, you're not allowed to come home. Su Yu was speechless. Why? Su Yu looked wronged. To avoid suspicion. What suspicion? Su Yu was a little confused by his mother's words. Silly boy, how can you chase a girl like this? If you let her stay at home and see her all day long, she'll feel uncomfortable. She's pregnant. Plus, if her family comes back to see the baby and finds out that she moved in for no reason and is friends with you, then it'll become a problem. So, if you want to see her in the future, just come back for dinner. You're not allowed to stay overnight, or else I won't let her stay with us. Mom, do you have to be so careful? Our house is so powerful. The media won't come in and take pictures. It's not for the media, it's for Mian's family. I heard that Mian's husband's whereabouts are unknown. We don't know if he's dead or alive, so maybe he's still alive. So, if they come back and see you two living in the same house, what will they think? If it were you, would you feel good? Su Yu didn't know how to refute Su Yu's mother's question. Okay, I didn't think too much about it. As long as she's willing to come to our house, I'm fine with anything. I'm just worried that she'll be in danger. After all, Hua Xiqian and Mayor Song are watching us closely. Don't worry. I can't promise you anything else, but I can definitely take care of Huamin until he gives birth. Thank you, Mom. Su Yu hugged his mother's neck intimately. Why are you being so polite with me? Do you think I can't tell what you're thinking? Silly boy. Su Yu scratched his head in embarrassment. In any case, as long as Huamin could stay at his house, he would feel a lot more at ease. He could even sleep soundly. After dinner, Su Yu drove out to have a drink with Wei Liao and Tang Chuan. Lady Su was sitting in the living room, brewing flower tea. Madam, are we going to have guests moving in? Andy, you asked. Yes. Young Master always talks about Mian. She must be the girl that young Master likes. How do you know? Lady Su looked up curiously. Because every time he says that name, his eyes have a kind of, how do I put it? Anyways, it's a different feeling. I've been in our house for so many years and watched young Master grow up. I can tell what he's thinking. Auntie Yu smiled honestly. Lady Su nodded. Holding the flower tea, she said quietly, Yeah, I've never seen him so gentle. That's why this is a good thing. Young Master finally has someone he likes. You used to worry that young Master was too stubborn and disobedient in his private life. He is indeed disobedient, but I can't do anything about it. My poor son, Lady Su said with a complicated look in her eyes. She really liked Huamin, but she knew that Huamin wasn't Su Yu's. Inside a clubhouse owned by the Tang Corporation. What? Huamin is moving into your house. Really? Tang Chuan didn't believe it and thought that Su Yu was bragging. Chapter 1662. Of course it's true. When have I ever lied to you guys? Su Yu glared at Tang Chuan and retorted. But with my understanding of Dr. Hua, why would she? Tang Chuan had known Huamin for a long time, so he knew a little about her. With her personality, she wouldn't easily move into Su Yu's house, right? That would be so awkward. I think he asked for help. He can't do such a difficult thing on his own, Wei Liao interrupted. Wei Liao, you're smart. I did ask my mom to help me. You asked Auntie? You're amazing, bro. Su Yu is probably the only one who would use his mother to chase a girl. Auntie Su is really easy to talk to. She actually agreed to help you. That's because my mom really likes Huamin, Su Yu said proudly. But no matter what, Huamin agreed to come. This is a good thing for you, Wei Liao said slowly. That's right. The pavilion closest to the water enjoys the moonlight first. How could our Lord Su not understand this? Tang Chuan snickered. But my mom said, after Huamin moves in, I have to move out of the house. Su Yu's words confused Wei Liao and Tang Chuan. Because she said she has to avoid suspicion. Plus, if I live at home, it won't be convenient for Huamin, Su Yu added. If that's the case, you don't have many chances. What's the difference between living at the hospital and living at the hospital? Tang Chuan asked. It's not as good as living at the hospital. If it's at the hospital, you can visit whenever you want. But if it's at home, there's so many people there, it wouldn't be appropriate for you to visit, especially with your parents and grandpa. It would be awkward no matter how you treat Huamin in front of your family. Wei Liao analyzed carefully. Forget it. I don't want to think too much about it. I didn't ask Huamin to move into my house to pursue her. It's because the military hospital is full of people. I don't know when Mayor Song and Huasiqian's people will sneak in. So I'm worried. I have to protect her until she gives birth. She's safe at home. No other place can compare to her. Tang Chuan and Wei Liao knew how strong the Su family's network was, so they agreed with Su Yu's opinion. At noon, Huamian was about to take a nap after lunch when she heard a commotion outside. What's going on? She opened her eyes and asked the nurse. There's a performance at the hospital today. They say a superstar is coming to our hospital to sing for us. I don't know if it's true or not, but I didn't receive any notice before. It's quite sudden. Really? There's a superstar? Yeah. Do you want to go take a look? The nurse's eyes lit up. Huamin didn't have the heart to refuse. Okay, it's so loud anyway. I can't sleep. Let's go take a look. Huamin didn't like to join in the fun, but she could tell that the nurse taking care of her really wanted to go, so she went with her. The nurse helped her walk from the back of the recuperation building to the front of the office building. She didn't know when a gorgeous stage was set up. Many people surrounded the stage, and the nurse pulled Huamin inside. When people turned around and saw Huamin, they immediately made way for her. They all knew that this was a girl with a special status. She was someone that young Master Su especially adored. Finally, the nurse led Huamin to the front of the stage. It was also the so-called superstar's turn. Huamin was slightly surprised when she saw the woman. Chapter 1663. It was Immo Shui obviously saw her as well. She glanced at her with a faint smile on her face. Then, she picked up the microphone and said, "Thank you for your warm applause. Let me sing a song. What would you like to hear?" Immo Shui interacted with the people below the stage, but Huamin suddenly lost interest. She had always believed that Immo Shui lied to Huasiqian, or that she knew the truth from the beginning. Therefore, she was disgusted by this person. You can watch from here. I'm a little sleepy. I'm going to sleep. You just came in and left. The nurse didn't know what was going on and expressed her disappointment. You can watch. Huamin patted her shoulder and turned around to leave. Immo Shui watched Huamin's back as he left, and the corners of her mouth curled up. Huamin lay on the bed and fell asleep in a daze. She vaguely felt that someone was looking at her in her room. She suddenly opened her eyes, and sure enough, Immo Shui was in her room. Why are you here? What? Are you scared? Mo Shue smiled like a flower, but her smile was extremely creepy. Huamin instinctively sat up and was on high alert. Mo Shue was Hua Xiqian's woman, so she was her enemy. There was no doubt about that. You look good. There's food and drinks. The Su family really invested a lot to protect you this time. What does that have to do with you? Huamin coldly replied. It doesn't. I'm just curious. How hard did you perform in bed for Su Yu to be so loyal to you? He even used the military's power to protect you. You're really something. You played two outstanding men like a fiddle. Oh, sorry, I misspoke. It was three. And my favorite, Qin Xian, is obsessed with you. I don't want to argue with you. Please leave now. Huamin ordered her to leave. What are you busy with? We've known each other for a long time. I told them that I'm your good friend, and they all believed me. Ha! To outsiders, I'm visiting my best friend. Mo Shue. Can you not be so disgusting? Did you become a hypocrite after spending so much time with Hua Xiqian? Is it tiring to wear a mask? Huamin looked at her faintly. Whether I'm tired or not is my own business. You don't have to worry about it. Then it's my business to toy with whoever I want. I don't need you to tell me what to do, Huamian retorted. Then Huamian got up to get off the bed. Do you want some water? I get you a cup of water. After she finished speaking, she poured a glass hand as she handed the water it. She didn't take the hand a hand. And then hers a swat of droplets jumped out and almost scalded Huamin. Luckily, she reacted quickly and dodged. Men, Huamin was really angry. The bodyguard immediately ran in. Miss what's wrong? Get this person out of here now. Yes. The tall bodyguard immediately walked over and dragged Mo Shue out of the room. Ha! Huamin, do you think you can keep a child? Dream on. Hua Xiqian won't let them off the hook. Your child can't be born. He has plenty of ways to deal with you. In the end, you'll only end up as a sparrow imprisoned by him. How pitiful, pathetic, and laughable. Mo Shue looked at Huamin viciously as she spoke. Chapter 1664. You're talking about your own situation, aren't you? Also, cursing a child is the most vicious thing in the world. You're a woman too, and you'll be a mother in the future. I hope you can see this clearly. Good and evil will be repaid. Remember to be virtuous. Karma is reincarnated. Before Mo Shue could say anything else, the bodyguards dragged her out. After Mo Shue left, Huamin didn't feel like sleeping anymore. She lowered her head and cleaned up the broken glasses. She felt a little depressed. She always knew that Hua Xiqian wouldn't let her off the hook so easily. Now that she was pregnant, how did he know? Although Mo Shue's words were harsh, they weren't necessarily false. So, moving into the Su family was the best choice, wasn't it? When Su Yu came in the afternoon and heard the bodyguards report what happened, he was furious. Who let this woman in? Are you all idiots? Su Yu yelled. The nurse taking care of Miss Hua told us that this woman is a superstar. She wouldn't lie. She must be Miss Hua's friend. That's why we shut up. So what if she's a superstar? In my eyes, she's nothing. How many times have I told you not to let anyone see Huamin? Are you all deaf? The four bodyguards fell silent. Young Master Su, it's all my fault, the nurse said with tears in her eyes. If she didn't admire Mo Shue so much that she easily believed her words, she wouldn't have let her in to piss Miss Hua off. Shut up. I'll deal with you later. Su Yu hadn't been this angry in a long time. He was truly furious. He pushed the door open and saw Huamin sitting on the couch, knitting a sweater. At that moment, his gaze immediately softened. I heard about what happened with Mo Shue. Are you okay? Did she do anything bad to you? I'll go find her right now. No, she just said some extreme things. I don't take it to heart. Huamin smiled. Su Yu walked over and looked down at the ball of wool in Huamin's hand. She asked curiously, what is this? The nurse bought it for me. I plan to knit 2 sweaters. After the babies are born, they can be worn in winter. You're really talented. There are so many finished products out there. Why do you have to put in so much effort? Huamin smiled and said, it's just a small token of appreciation from a mother. I have nothing to do anyway. Those guys are all trash. I've decided to fire them. And that irresponsible nurse. I'll kick them all out. Don't. They didn't do it on purpose. It's not their fault that they didn't know. Huamin put down the ball of wool in his hand. She knew that Su Yu was a man of his word. However, it really wasn't a big deal. He really wasn't in any danger. Plus, a scheming bitch like Mo Shui was more than enough to deal with a few honest bodyguards and nurses. Of course, I can let them go, but you have to move out today. Huamin, don't worry, I won't live at home. I won't cause you any trouble. That's not what I meant. I just think it's too much trouble for Annie Su. Huamin was a little apologetic. What trouble? She likes you a lot too. So, Dr. Hua, do you want me to get you a new group of bodyguards and fire that irresponsible nurse? Or do you want to move into our house ahead of schedule? Su Yu threw Huamin a difficult problem. Huamin, in the end, after thinking about it carefully, Huamin nodded and said, I'll move in today. Su Yu was overjoyed. He immediately picked up his phone and called his mother to arrange everything. Huamin officially moved into the Su family's mansion today. On the other side, on an island in the southern part of the Pacific Ocean, a young girl in a crimson dress looked at the man in a black suit. Did you find him? Chapter 1665. Not yet. The subordinate lowered his head apologetically. Crack! The girl smashed the wine glass onto the ground, shattering it into pieces. Trash! Boss, please calm down. We tried our best, but his whereabouts are too secretive. I think he's hiding from someone. Lu Yin looked out the window with a gloomy expression. When her sister's husband left, his plane exploded and crashed. She was shocked when she first received the news. Then, she immediately sent people to investigate, and she had to do it secretly. Finally, a few days ago, she found some information about Qin Chu. A family of fishermen closest to that area of the sea had indeed taken in a young man. But he left not long after. Lu Yin was sure that the man was Qin Chu, but where did he go after he left? Why didn't he go back to Huamin? He loved her so much. So Lu Yin blocked the news and took the fishermen away. To put it nicely, she moved them. To put it bluntly, she put them under house arrest and put them under surveillance. Lu Yin didn't want anyone to know about Qin Chu's whereabouts. Although many people wanted to find him, many people didn't want him to go back. They wanted him to disappear forever. How's my sister? She moved into the Su family. She's safe. How's her mood? She's good. She's been stable. Boss, since you're so worried, why don't you go and see for yourself? Bullshit. If I had the guts to go, would I need you to tell me? Lu Yin was furious. Last time, she didn't listen to her dad and went straight to Japan to save Huamin after completing her mission. She almost caused an earthquake. If that psycho Qiao Fei didn't come and take her away, she would have met that psycho Ian. If that happened, she wouldn't be able to save Huamian. She would be in deep trouble. But how did Ian get her information so quickly? According to the usual pattern, Ian would only start tracking her after 24 hours. Did someone leak the information? Who? Was it that guy Huasiqian? Lu Yin didn't know Huasiqian at all because she wasn't interested in investigating a nobody in a small city. But this time, she was truly shocked. Therefore, she also sent people to investigate Huasiqian. Strangely, she couldn't find anything about the 6 years that were blank. This was getting more and more interesting. Now that she was the first to find out that Qin Chu was still alive, she was very gratified. But since Qin Chu was still alive, why didn't he go back to find his sister? This was yet another unsolved mystery. She was worried about her sister's condition. If it wasn't for father, thinking of this, his phone rang again. Lu Yin looked at the caller ID helplessly and pressed the exquisite watch on her wrist. Daddy, I just heard your message in the laboratory this morning. Did you say your sister is pregnant? Yeah. Lu Yin rolled her eyes. Really? The old man's voice was a little excited. Calm down, Dad. Big sis is pregnant, not me. Why are you so agitated? She's been married for more than a year. Isn't it normal for her to get pregnant? Twins? The old man asked again. Yeah, God bless you. If your mom knew, she would be very happy. The old man was so happy that he cried. Hearing this, Lu Yan's eyes dimmed. Have you been to see Mom recently? Lu Yan's voice was very soft. Chapter 1666. I didn't. Ian's people are following me too closely. You shouldn't go either, in case he finds out where your mom is. So you're still in the Middle East? Lu Yan was speechless. What else can I do? Do you think I dare to go back to the headquarters? Okay, Dad, now I understand why you don't want me to disturb my sister. Compared to us, she's so much happier. Now you finally understand my intentions. The old man scolded his daughter with sincerity. Yeah, I kind of understand now. If Xiao Fei didn't go last time, you almost killed your sister. Do you know that? If he knows where Mian is, then... Don't say it, Dad. I'll be careful in the future, Lu Yan apologized. But did Psycho Xiao tell on me to you? Xiao Fei didn't say anything. He's a good kid. Ugh. If he was a good kid, then there would be no demons in this world. Okay, I've known him for so many years. I know him better than you do. So you really don't want to think about it? Of course not. I'm still young. I don't want to get married and have kids. It's too scary. I'm not asking you to get married now. Plus, when old Xiao retires, Xiao Fei will definitely take over the family. How do you know it won't be his two scumbag brothers? Lu Yan rolled her eyes. I believe in Xiao Fei. Anyway, if you listen to me and get married to him, then Ian won't be so unscrupulous. After all, he values the power in Russia. Are you asking me to bow down to the strong? Dad, when have I, God Lu Yan, ever been afraid? Do I have to sell myself just because I want a safe haven? That's immoral. I learned how to use a gun at 5 and a bomb at 7. His daughter's narcissism really pissed the old man off. Okay, don't talk nonsense. It's useless. Pay attention to your sister. When the baby is born, tell me the gender and send me a photo. That's all. Yeah. Dad, when can we? Beep. Beep. Before Lu Yan could finish her sentence, her dad hung up. She really wanted to ask when she could reunite with her sister. Because before she knew it, she was about to become an auntie. Is the child a boy or a girl? She turned around abruptly, startling her subordinates behind her. Boss, what's wrong? Tell me, my sister is about to give birth to a baby. What gift should I give her? Boss, it seems like it's going to take a while. I'm just pregnant. What do you know? This is called preparing for a rainy day. Don't tell me I have to wait until it rains before I open my umbrella. Say it, I think giving them gold bars might be a good idea. Vulgar, Diamond, even more vulgar. Lu Yan rolled her eyes at him, clearly displeased. Then I don't know either. Boss, please don't make things difficult for your subordinate. I said you were trash, and you really lived up to your name. I didn't wrong you. All right, you can leave now. Yes. The subordinate finally heaved a sigh of relief and ran out. He didn't want to upset his boss before he left. He heard Lu Yan mumble, if my sister gives birth to 2 boys, I'll give her a pistol. If it's a girl, I'll give her a Swiss Army knife. If it's a boy and a girl, I'll give her a pistol and a Swiss Army knife. The subordinate was so scared that his legs turned to jelly and he almost fell to the ground. His boss was indeed an internationally wanted criminal. Even the gift he gave was so unique. At the Su family mansion, it's dinner time. Lady Su gently went upstairs to call Huamin. When the two of them went downstairs, they saw the door open. Grandpa Su walked in his military uniform. Huamin suddenly became nervous. Chapter 1667. Dad, this is Huamin. Lady Su introduced him solemnly. Hello, Master Lord Su. Huamin took the initiative to greet him. After all, he was very grateful to this old man who saved his life, even though he did it for Su Yu's sake. MHM. Lord Su nodded slightly. His expression was still very serious. He found out about Huamian's intention to move in through the phone. It was Su Yu's mother who told him. He didn't have any objections. It was just one more person in the house. Moreover, his grandson dared to point a gun at him and threaten him with his life. This girl must have something special about her. Moreover, he saved her life, so he didn't mind being a good person until the end. He heard from Su Yu's mother that this girl seemed to have someone who wanted to hurt her, so she was more worried about the safety of the baby in her belly. Therefore, Lord Su didn't have any objections to Huamin moving into this house. Su Yu's father, on the other hand, was very opposed. Unfortunately, Lord Su was the one who called the shots in this house. In the end, it was 3-1, and Su Yu's father lost his father, wife, and son. Dad, you're back just in time. Dinner's ready. Okay. Lord Su went back to the bedroom to change his clothes, and Mrs. Su affectionately grabbed Huamin's hand and went downstairs. Be careful. Walk slowly. Imagine, don't be afraid. Although my dad looks scary and old-fashioned, he's a good person. He's old now, and sometimes he's as childish as a child. After Mrs. Su finished speaking, Huamin snickered. At the dinner table, the three of them sat together and ate in silence. The Su family's nanny was very good at cooking and paid attention to the details. The food was delicious, and the saltiness was just right. However, Huamin was still a little reserved. Mian, eat more of whatever you like. You're pregnant, so you have to eat more. Thank you, Auntie Su. I'll do it myself. Huamin didn't want Mrs. Su to always take the food, so he took the initiative to do it himself. How many months has it been? Master Lord Su asked solemnly. Huamin was stunned at first. Then he and Mrs. Su looked at each other knowingly. Then he replied, It's been 2 months and 6 days. Lord Su. A boy or a girl? Master Lord Su continued to ask. Lord Su. It's still too early to tell. We'll only know in 4 months. Lord Su was a little embarrassed. He coughed lightly and didn't say anything else. Mrs. Su chimed in, It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. We haven't had a child in a long time. It must be very lively. I'm looking forward to it. Huamin smiled and didn't say anything else. At this time, the door to the hall opened and Su Yu rushed in. Young master, you're back. Auntie Yu took the initiative to get Su Yu a pair of shoes. Why didn't you wait for me to eat? Su Yu looked wronged. How would I know you were coming back? Mrs. Su looked at her son dotingly and smiled. What did Huamin eat? Red date, glutinous rice porridge. Give me a bowl, too. Su Yu immediately sat beside Huamin. That's for pregnant women. Why are you joining in? It's okay, madam. There's a lot in the kitchen. I'll get a bowl for young master. Auntie Yu immediately went into the kitchen. Grandpa, you've met her, right? Huamin, what do you think of her? Isn't she super cute? Su Yu's words made Huamin blush slightly. Mrs. Su reprimanded him. How can you ask a child like that in front of him? Seriously. You little brat. Don't be so careless in the future. You're almost 30, Lord Su corrected him. How are you today? Are you tired? If you need anything, let me know and I'll buy it. Su Yu looked at Huamin. It's okay. I have everything. I don't need anything. It's really good. That's good. Don't worry and stay here. If anyone bullies you, just tell Grandpa. He's the boss of the family. Su Yu pointed at his grandpa. Lord Su didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Huamin immediately waved his hand. No one bullied me. The Su family. I'm indebted to them. I'll never forget it. When Huamin said this, Lord Su, Mrs. Su, and Su Yu's expressions all changed. Su Yu was the closest to Huamin. He noticed that Huamin's eyes were glistening with tears. Chapter 1668. Silly girl, why are you saying this? Mrs. Su understood Huamin's feelings, so she didn't feel good either. Auntie Su, thank you for taking me in without any qualms. You treat me like family. Lord Su, thank you for helping me get out of prison. I can't repay you for saving my life. Su Yu, I can't thank you enough because you've done so much for me. There's still a long way to go. I'll slowly use the rest of my time to repay you. Hearing this, Su Yu's heart tightened. He didn't understand what Huamin meant. Was she offering herself to him? Then he heard Huamin say, It'll be inconvenient for you guys to have one more person at home. I'm really sorry for troubling everyone during this period of time. It's no trouble at all. Just stay here, Mrs. Su immediately said with a smile. Lord Su coughed lightly and said in a low voice, Don't think too much. Since the Su family is here, we'll definitely protect you. Just focus on your pregnancy. We'll talk about everything after the baby is born. Thank you, Lord Su. I won't stand on ceremony then. Otherwise, I'll seem too pretentious. After speaking, Huamin took out a piece of tissue and wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes. Then, he picked up the chopsticks on the table and happily picked up his favorite vegetables. Instantly, the atmosphere warmed up. Compared to before, this way of getting along was more comfortable for everyone. Mrs. Su looked at Huamin with admiration. She felt that this child had a high EQ. With just a few words, he made everyone let go of their grudges. Then, they could get along very naturally. Su looked at Huamin gently. You're so reasonable. You always talk a lot. Anyway, you're amazing. We all admit defeat. I'm not. Huamin retorted with a smile. After Su finished his meal, he didn't dare to stay any longer because he had an agreement with his mother that he wouldn't stay overnight. Su didn't want to bring trouble to Huamin, so he left after eating. Huamin also went upstairs to rest. In the living room, Lord Su was drinking high-quality pu'er tea and watching a military program. Dad, what do you think of Huamin? Mrs. Su walked over and sat down next to Grandpa Su. He has a very high EQ and is very good with words, but he's not hypocritical or pretentious. He's a very honest child. Dad, you think very highly of her. Mother Su smiled. Actually, before I met her, I already guessed that she wasn't an ordinary girl. Otherwise, my bastard grandson wouldn't be so infatuated with her. Now that I've met her, I'm not disappointed. Although she's not very beautiful, she gives off a comfortable and cultured vibe. It's a pity. The old man paused and sighed slightly. What's a pity? Mrs. Su was confused. It's a pity that she's not the right person for you. When we were eating, I observed you. The look in his eyes is different. I really hope that this child is our granddaughter-in-law and that she's pregnant with our grandson. Grandpa Su was old and wanted to see his grandson get married and have children, but Su hadn't been very helpful. Dad, actually, I want to ask if her lover really can't come back and really dies in a year or so. What if she's willing to accept you? Will you accept her then? Really? Grandpa Su was surprised. Chapter 1669. As far as I know, this girl's lover disappeared in an accident. I think it was a plane crash, and the chances of him surviving are very slim. But she still has a glimmer of hope. She's only 24 years old this year, and will only be 27 in 3 years. When that time comes, if you continues to be so good to her and she's touched, can you accept her as our granddaughter-in-law? Don't you mind her marriage history and the fact that she has a baby? Master Lord Su was silent for a while before saying seriously, as long as you likes her, it's fine. Dad, Mrs. Su didn't expect the old man to say this and was really touched. When you pointed a gun at his head and threatened me, I knew what this girl meant to him. So, as long as he was happy, I won't object. Dad, you're so good to you. I only have one bastard grandson. Speaking of Su, Lord Su's face was filled with happiness. Dad, what about his dad? Mrs. Su was quite worried about her father's mood. Leave it to me. Thank you, Dad. Mrs. Su smiled and finally left with a sigh of relief. On the first night Huamin came to the Su family, she couldn't sleep. This was a completely unfamiliar environment. Her room was very big, at least 80 square meters. It used to be Su Yu's room. However, it was said that after Su Yu's renovation, the walls were changed to light pink, and the curtains and decorations were also colors that girls liked. Everything that needed to be prepared was prepared, and there was nothing missing. However, looking at this unfamiliar environment and bed, Huamin suddenly lost all her sleepiness. She got up and walked to the window, pulled open the curtains, and looked at the night outside. It was a good place to see the night view of the entire city, because the location was too good. There had been no news of Qin Chu. If Qin Chu was still alive in that disaster, why didn't he come to find her? Or was he really dead? Or did he lose his memory? As soon as this thought popped up, even she found it laughable. Huamin was a doctor and had a deep understanding of brain surgery. She knew that people weren't as mysterious as they were portrayed on TV and in novels. How could he lose his memory just by casually bumping into her? Therefore, the possibility of this happening was almost non-existent. But why didn't Qin Chu come to her? She really hoped that he would come back soon. After such a long wait, she was starting to lose confidence. He was really afraid that if things went on like this, he would start to despair. 6 o'clock in the morning. Huamin had just woken up when he received a video call. It was a call from Jixin. There was a 5-hour time difference between China and China. It should be 11 o'clock in the afternoon over there. Jixin. Huamin answered the phone in a daze. Mian, how are you? Yang Marong's voice sounded. Huamin immediately woke up. Mom, it's you. I thought it was Jixin. Mian. I know what? Huamin's heart immediately tightened. Jixin said that someone wants to harm you and Qin Shu. So Qin Shu went abroad to lie low. You're staying at a friend's house for the time being, right? Hearing this, Huamin felt a lot more relieved and nodded. Jixin is right, Mom. I didn't tell you before because I didn't want you to worry. Don't blame me. Why would I? I know you don't want me to worry, but I'm still worried. You're pregnant, and I want to go back to take care of you. But Jixin said that if we go back, we'll be captured and threatened by those bad people. Yes, Mom. So you can stay in New Zealand for now. After I take care of things here, I'll pick you up. Girl, how are you feeling recently? Are you vomiting? Chapter 1670. I'm fine. I vomit occasionally, but it's not that serious. It's a normal pregnancy reaction. Then you have to be careful. If you feel anything wrong, go to the hospital immediately. It's hard to take care of twins. Mom, I'm a doctor. I've interned in the OB/GYN department for so long and have a lot of clinical experience. Don't worry. I'm still worried. After all, we're not by your side. It's not convenient for you to live at your friend's house. No, my friend's family is very good to me. Then, when will Qin Shu be back? Yang Meirong asked. He probably won't be long. He'll be back after he's done. Huamin lied guiltily. Okay, I know how to dial now. I'll video call you often in the future. You have to tell me how you're doing. Otherwise, I'll be worried. Okay. Huamin nodded. After talking to her mother, her heart felt warm. Although she knew that she wasn't her biological mother, she had treated her like one all these years. Although there was such a big misunderstanding and resentment because of the Qin family, her mother was still the same after everything was resolved. She was lucky to be able to come to this family and have a mother like Jixin. Miss Hua, it's time for breakfast. Auntie Yu went upstairs and knocked on the door. Okay, I'll be right down. When Huamin finished cleaning up and came out, she saw Auntie Yu waiting for her at the door. When she saw her walk out, she immediately helped her up. Go downstairs slowly and be careful of the steps. Thank you, Auntie Yu. You're welcome. I've been in the Su family for many years and watched young master grow up. You're his friend. We definitely treat you like family. Madam said that Miss Hua is smart and smart. Everyone likes you. Auntie Su thinks too highly of me. Huamin smiled. Auntie Yu also liked this girl. After understanding Hua means difficulties, she felt pity for her. She knew that her husband was in trouble and that someone wanted to harm her with twins in her belly. It was really, really hard, but even so, she still smiled and faced it every day. After breakfast, they took a walk in the Su family's huge garden. Huamin took out her phone and dialed a number. Huamin. Rick, are you busy? I'm not busy. Go ahead. Do you know the whereabouts of Qin Shu? Rick was silent for a while. Not yet. Then, have you contacted the Qin family? My in-laws, uncles, and Ningning? Not yet. My brother is still investigating. Rick's tone was apologetic. Oh, that's good. Let me know when you have news. All right. Then I'll hang up first. Wait. Huamin. Huamin was just about to hang up when he heard that Rick had something to say, so he immediately put the phone back to his ear. Rick, you said, Huamin, I know about your background. Qin Shu told me about your true family. Before Rick could finish, Huamin interrupted, Thank you, but I still want to hear everything from Qin Shu himself. Upon hearing this, Rick's heart ached. He didn't dare to ask Huamin what he would do if Qin Shu really died and couldn't come back, because he knew that would be the cruelest torture for Huamin. At the headquarters of the Hua Corporation. Any news? Not yet. Hua Xiqian's face immediately fell. Boss, do you think Qin Shu is really dead? His body might have been swept to the bottom of the sea by the undercurrents or eaten by sharks. After all, The sea is so deep that it's hard to salvage it. I don't believe that he's dead. Keep investigating. Ever since the plane crashed and Qin Shu's whereabouts were unknown, Huasiqian felt uneasy. He had a feeling that Qin Shu wasn't dead and was just hiding in the dark. In the past, he was always in the dark while the enemy was in the light. Now that it was the other way around, he didn't feel good. Any news from Lu Yan? Huasiqian asked again. Chapter 1671. There's no movement over there. Where's Lu Yan? Huasiqian asked again. We didn't find her. Boss, you should know that her whereabouts have been a mystery all these years. Even Master Ian couldn't find her, let alone us. Okay, I got it. You can leave now. After his subordinate left, Huasiqian pressed his temples with one hand and began to feel uneasy. Ever since he found out that Qin Shu's whereabouts were unknown, he had been especially anxious. What a perfect explosion he had planned. The plane crashed in the dark of the night. There were so many people on the plane, and the people he sent were all burned to a crisp. But the strange thing was that Qin Shu was gone. He had always been cautious. Without seeing the body and confirming the DNA of the body, he wouldn't believe that Qin Shu was dead. Therefore, in this situation, Huasiqian and Huamin were the only ones who believed that Qin Shu was still alive. As for the others, they had lost all hope and were in despair. Including Qin Shu's good brother, Rick and Gao Ran, they had all tacitly agreed that Qin Shu was dead. He deliberately planned Song Yishi's death. Step by step, he set up Qin Shu and Huamin. It was so perfect, but in the end, the result was not what he wanted. Qin Shu's whereabouts were unknown, and he was unsure. Huamin was forcefully protected by Su Yu and isolated from the world. Before, he could still occasionally see some videos in the military, but now that Huamin moved to the Su family, he couldn't even see his shadow. He didn't dare to try to break the Su family's defense, nor did he dare to provoke them. Because Su Yu's grandfather's identity was too powerful, he was someone who could affect the entire country. Huasiqian had always thought that he was the smartest person in the world and that everything he did was perfect. But now, he realized that he hadn't achieved anything. He couldn't even get his hands on a Huamin. At this moment, his phone rang. It was a string of messy numbers. He took a deep breath and picked up the phone. Well, long time no see. Master Ian, long time no see. I thought I'd see you last time, but Lu Yan ran away. It's not easy to catch Lu Yan. Otherwise, Mr. Ian, you wouldn't have been able to catch her after so many years. That's why I've always been interested in her. You know, I've never been interested in women, but she's different. Didn't Mr. Ian capture Lu Yan to threaten Professor Lu? That's one of the reasons. But there's another reason. I plan to marry Lu Yan. Get married? You sure have weird tastes. Haha. Huasiqian chuckled. No, you don't understand. That girl is so cute. She's my little angel. Every time she carries out a mission, she's flawless. It was obvious that Ian admired Lu Yan. But as far as I know, in Russia, the third son of the Qiao family has been eyeing her covetously. Are you sure you'll be able to get her? Do you think someone like me would be afraid of a pretty boy? Ian said proudly. Okay, I hope you'll realize your dream soon. So, can you tell me if you found the person I've been asking you to find? Ian suddenly changed the topic. Huasiqian's eyes flashed slightly, and then he replied, Not yet. Chapter 1672. I don't think so. I trust you so much, and I know how powerful you are in the country. You can't possibly not find a girl in a few years. She's the key. If you catch her, then Professor Lu and Lu Yan will surrender. But I really can't find her. You know how big our country is. Just the population alone is more than 1 billion. How can I find her? I don't even know where she is. There are many places in our country that are very secluded. There's no cell signal or GPS. I can't search every inch of land, right? Wouldn't that be like looking for a needle in a haystack? Okay, but remember, if you have any news, let me know immediately. Of course. Okay, that's it then. Ian hung up the phone. Huasiqian let out a sigh of relief. Ian was a very, very scary person. He was temperamental and killed people as casually as eating. Moreover, his methods were extremely cruel. He was a famous murderer in Europe, America, and even internationally. His subordinates were all psychopaths. Even someone like Liu Yan had been avoiding him. Huasiqian didn't know how much of his words Ian believed. However, he had to say it, because if Huang Mian really fell into Ian's hands, she would suffer a fate worse than death. What he wanted was for Huang Min to be by his side and give her happiness. He didn't want to send her to the gates of hell. At the Su family mansion, Mrs. Su and Auntie Yu were in the kitchen making sweet soup. Huang Min and Lord Su were playing chess in the living room. Lord Su loved to play chess. In the past, he only played with Su Yu, but Su Yu was often not home. So, the old man would set up the chessboard and play by himself. Huang Min was good at chess, so when he saw Lord Su playing with himself, he ran over to join in the fun. After one round, Lord Su was very happy. He felt like he had met his match and dragged Huang Min to continue playing. Lord Su, you lost again. You're amazing. You're even better than that brat Su Yu. Lord Su had high praise for Huang Min. Huang Min had never learned chess, nor had she studied it deeply. She only played it with Jixin when she was young. Later, when she met older patients at Southside Recuperation Center, she would play a few rounds with them to coax them into taking their medicine. Even now, he was still very good at it. This might be his talent. Who's talking behind my back? Su Yu overheard Grandpa Su and Huang Mian's conversation when he walked in. Old's right. Well, if you play chess with Huang Min, says, I'm you. Hearing his grandpa's words, Su Yu became even more interested. Are you serious? Grandpa, you're not bragging, are you? Su Yu was confused. Why don't you try it yourself? Lord Su waved his hand. Su Yu handed the fruit in his hand to Aunt Yu. Put in the fridge for Huang Min. Got it, young master. Aunt Yu smiled and took the fruit. Su Yu took off his jacket and walked over, unconvinced. Lord Su gave up his seat. Come, sit down. I'll watch the two of you play as a spectator. There's a bet, right? Su Yu rolled up his sleeves and smiled. Whoever loses will call the other party master. What do you think? Lord Su suggested. Grandpa, what kind of idea is this? Su Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What? You're not confident? Are you afraid of losing? Lord Su was in a good mood and patted his grandson's shoulder. Chapter 1673. How is that possible? I'm a chess genius. After Su Yu said proudly, he sat across from Huang Min and began to set up the chessboard. Don't cry if you lose. Su Yu reminded Huang Min with a smile. Thank you for the reminder. I hope it's effective on you as well. Su Yu couldn't win against Huang Min. So, he quickly set up the chessboard. Then, he sat down in an inviting posture. You first, ladies first. Are you sure you won't say that I won because I made the first move? Of course not. If you make the first move, it won't affect the overall situation. So he was still full of confidence. Okay, then I won't stand on ceremony. Huang Min smiled as he picked up a chess piece and began to move. Su Yu also began to observe carefully before making the next move. No, you can't do this. Lord Su seemed to be anxious. Su Yu turned around unhappily. Grandpa, a true gentleman doesn't speak when watching chess. Lord Su. Huang Min looked at the grandfather and grandson pair and couldn't help but laugh. 20 minutes later, Su Yu looked awkward and remained silent. Hurry up and admit defeat. It's a dead move. You didn't listen to me. Lord Su mumbled like a child. Huang Min looked at Su Yu and smiled. Ahem. Master, I admit defeat. Su Yu cupped his hands. Thank you for letting me win. Huang Min replied humbly. Girl, your chess skills are too good. Next time, I'll take you to the military and play with my old comrades so that they won't always show off to me. Lord Su, you flatter me. I can only play at home. I can't play in public. Huang Min quickly waved his hand. At this moment, Mrs. Su and Auntie Yu walked out of the kitchen. She brought 3 bowls of soup over and placed them on a coffee table. Dad, drink this mung bean. It'll clear away the heat, and it's not sweet. Okay. The old man took it and sipped it. Mian, here's your 8 treasure lotus seed. Thank you, Auntie Su. Huang Min was very grateful. Ever since he came to the Su family, he had 3 meals a day with fruits and desserts. Auntie Su really put in a lot of effort to change it into something else. Son, this is for you. Rose to Mom, do I still need to drink flower tea to maintain my beauty? I'm already very handsome. Su Yu said proudly. Son, can't you be more shameless? Mrs. Su retorted. Huamin almost spat out the soup in his mouth. Did he have to be so funny? She originally thought that the atmosphere in the Su family would be very gloomy. After all, they were a family of high-ranking officials, so they should be strict. In the end, she discovered that it was really warm and cozy. Su Yu had a high status in the family, and he got along well with his grandparents and mother. After eating the sweet soup, it was already 8:30 p.m. Huamin was a little sleepy, so he got up and said, Master Lord Su, Auntie Su, I'm going upstairs to rest. Okay, go ahead and sleep early, Mrs. Su said. We'll continue playing chess tomorrow night, girl. Lord Su still wanted to continue. Okay. Huamin smiled. I'll walk you upstairs. So you didn't even finish his soup before he got up and followed Huamin upstairs. What do you think my silly son should do? Mrs. Su didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but she also felt bad for her son. Let him be. Lord Su was more open-minded, as long as his grandson was happy. Had he been vomiting recently? Su Yu asked. I'm much better. I looked it up on the internet. It said that eating some alkaline biscuits will make you feel better, so I bought a lot today. They're all in the fridge. Remember to eat them. Okay. What do you want to eat? Remember to tell me. I'll buy it. Okay. Then go to bed early. I'm leaving. Okay. Huamin opened the door and entered the house, but Su Yu was still standing at the door reluctantly. He watched Huamin go in for a long time before he turned around and left. Huamin knew how Su Yu felt about her, so she pretended to be cold and didn't want to say too much to him. No matter what he said, she would only give simple answers, afraid that Su Yu would fall deeper and deeper. She didn't want to give Su Yu a chance or any hope, even if Qin Shu died. Just then, Huamin's phone rang. Hello? Huamin, it's Cece. Cece, what is it? Huamin, I need your help with something. Cece's tone was strange, as if there was something urgent. Chapter 1674. You mean, Cece? Can you come see Rick and talk to him? Cece's voice was filled with concern. What's wrong with Rick? Huamin froze slightly. Ever since Mr. Qin's accident, Rick's been worried sick. He thinks he caused Mr. Qin's death, so he's pushing all the blame onto himself. He's been acting weird lately, no matter if we're eating or watching movies together. He's always been a cold person, and he rarely smiles. Now, he's even more so. The entire seductive fox is cold, and everyone's afraid of him. Although he never gets mad at me, I don't like Rick like this. I know he's sad that something happened to his best friend, but I don't know how to help him. Huamin, you're so smart. You'll find a way to help him. I know this request is a little selfish, because you're the one who's the saddest about Qin Shu's accident. But I really don't know what else to do. Huamin completely understood what Cece was trying to say. After Qin Shu's accident, Rick was also deeply affected, because he always thought he was the cause. It seemed like she really had to talk to Rick. Cece, when you think it's convenient for me to come over, can I come now? But it's very late. Can you come out? Will you be in danger? Cece had heard from Rick that Huamin was in a difficult situation, so she was a little hesitant. Good. It's not too late. I'll go to Seductive Fox to find Rick. Wait for me. Then, Huamin hung up the phone, put on a black cashmere coat, and went downstairs. Auntie, I need to go out for a while. Mian, it's so late. Where are you going? Mrs. Su immediately asked with concern. I have a friend who wants to talk to me about something. You're going out alone? Mrs. Su panicked. Yeah. Huamin nodded slightly. That won't do. You said that you can't go out alone. Don't overthink it. I'm not monitoring you. It's just that you're in a dangerous situation with so many pairs of eyes watching you. If something happens to you, how am I going to explain it to you? Huamin could understand why the Su family was so protective of her. How about this? I'll call you and ask him to pick you up and drive you there. Don't. How about I bring 2 bodyguards with me? Huamin suggested. No. How about this? I'll ask Dad and see what he has to say. Huomin's mother went upstairs to Master Lord Su's study. After careful consideration, Master Lord Su personally selected 4 elites to accompany Huomin. One of them drove while the other 3 sat in the back. In order to attract attention, the Su family only gave Huomin a black Audi A6. Because of this, Huomin was finally allowed to leave. 30 minutes later, the car slowly came to a stop at Seductive Fox. The 4 bodyguards carefully escorted Huomin upstairs. Miss Hua, Rick's assistant, was very familiar with her. Where's Rick? Boss is in his office. Huomin looked at his watch. It was almost 10 p.m., but Rick was still in his office. He was indeed in a bad mood. Where's Cece? Miss Cece is in there with boss. Okay, you guys wait for me here. I'm going to meet a friend alone. Huomin turned around and said to the bodyguards behind him, Miss Hua, but boss said that you have to stay close to him. The bodyguards were in a difficult position. It's really fine. I need to talk to him alone. It's really inconvenient for you guys to be here, but it'll be fine. Okay, then. We'll wait for you at the door. Huomin nodded, knocked on the door, and walked in. Huomin, why are you here? Rick was quite surprised to see Huomin. Chapter 1675. I asked Mian to come. Cece jogged over and held on to Huomin's hand. Rick looked at the two of them in confusion. Cece said to Huomin in a low voice, Please, don't worry. Huomin nodded. Rick, I'm going back to school now. See you tomorrow. Talk to you guys. Then, Cece turned around, opened the door, and ran out. Rick was used to her impulsive personality. Then, he looked at Huomin. Sit down, okay. Rick stood up and was about to make Huomin a cup of tea when he suddenly remembered that pregnant women needed to be careful. So, he handed over a cup of water. Rick, I'm here today for no other reason than to talk to you. Talk about what? Rick was still as cold as ever. Let's talk about Qin Shu. Rick's eyes dimmed when he heard the name Qin Shu. It was obvious that he cared a lot about this matter. Okay, go ahead. Rick seemed to know why Huomin was here and why Cece asked Huomin to come. Rick, you feel a lot of pressure and burden because of Qin Shu's plane crash, right? Yeah. Rick nodded slowly. Do you think it's because of you that this happened? Yes. Have you ever thought about it? That was Hua Xiqian's scheme. Even if the plane crash didn't happen, something else would have happened. He wouldn't have let Mr. Qin off that easily. And the plane crash was an opportunity. Even if you didn't send him off, if it was someone else, something would still happen. But I personally sent him to the plane, Rick said sadly. Then let me ask you, who told you to do this? Was it me? Rick looked up at Huomin in shock, but he didn't say anything. So if you feel guilty, then I feel guilty too. Before I went to prison, I told you to stop Qin Shu from getting revenge on Hua Xiqian and send him to the States. So, if I continue to pursue this matter, then wouldn't I be the one who killed Mr. Qin? Huomin's words left Rick speechless. He knew that Huomin had a high EQ and a sharp tongue. Also, you need to know something important. What is it? Rick looked at Huomin. I don't think Mr. Qin is dead. I think he's still alive. Then, Huomin continued to look at Rick. I know what you mean. You think the chances of survival from the plane crash are low, but it's not absolute. So, I believe that Mr. Qin's chances of survival are very low. We haven't heard from him for a long time, which is actually good news. I believe he has his own way of doing things. So, if he's fine, and you're unable to extricate yourself from the guilt of your friends' deaths, then the people around you won't feel good either. Not only Cece, but I also feel bad. I think it's because of my advice that you're burdened by it. Huomin, don't say that. Qin Shu is my good friend. It's what I should do. Since you're good friends, then you should know that Qin Shu doesn't want to see you like this. Mr. Qin is an extremely strong and calm person. I don't want your life to change because of this. To put it more tragically, even if Qin Shu is really dead, it's useless for you to be so sad, right? Do you think I'll just wash my face with tears every day without caring about my children, my life, and my family? You have a point. Rick understood Huomin's words and immediately felt ashamed. So, I hope you'll get better. Don't make Cece worry. She loves you very much. Huomin's straightforward words made Rick's face redden slightly. I understand. Thank you, Huomin. Don't thank me. Thank you for Cece. Huamin said as he stood up slightly. That's it then. I'll go back now. It's too late. The Su family will be worried about me. They treat me like family. Then Huamin walked out. Huamin, don't you want to know where your family is? Rick couldn't help but ask. Chapter 1676. Huamin stopped in her tracks, but didn't look back. I told you. I'll wait for Qinshu to come back and tell me personally. After that, Huamin walked out. Rick suddenly felt that Huamin was the most powerful woman he had ever met in the world. When everyone thought that Qinshu was dead, she was the only one who believed that he was still alive. What kind of love was this? Qinshu, did you hear that? You have to come back. You have to come back safely or else. What's going to happen to Huamin? Rick had never been a pessimistic person. He just felt that Huamin must be in a lot of pain after losing Qinshu. When Huamin walked out, she gave Cece a call. Hey, Cece, I'm out. How is it? Huamin, how's Rick doing? Cece asked impatiently. I said a lot. I believe that Rick has come to his senses. I don't think he'll continue to be depressed like this. Really? That's great. Thank you, Huamin. Cece couldn't suppress the excitement in her voice. You're welcome. I'm very happy to be able to help you guys. Huamin, you're the best. Mwah. When you're free, I'll treat you to a big meal. Hee hee. Okay. Huamin smiled slightly and hung up the phone. Cece was a very naive girl. She was the youngest of the people around her and was still in college. She wasn't as mature as Zhu Lingling, nor was she as wise and calm as Jiang Xiaowei. However, she had her own unique personality. She liked girls like Cece a lot. She felt that Cece's youthful aura infected everyone around her. When she thought about what Rick said, Huamin's smile disappeared. She should have known about her background more than a month ago. At that time, Mr. Qin was threatened by Hua Xiqian to divorce her. The couple reconciled and chatted in the wine cellar of South Hill Manor. Just as Mr. Qin was about to tell her the truth, he received a call from Song Yishur. At that time, Huamin didn't think too much about it. He only thought that when he came back, he would be able to know the whereabouts of his family. That was such a happy thing. But who would have thought that from that day onwards, their lives would change drastically? The only 2 times she had met Mr. Qin were during the trial. She really regretted not giving Mr. Qin a proper hug before the accident. Now that she thought about it, she really was stupid. She really missed Mr. Qin's familiar scent, and there was his doting smile on his face. Huamin was immersed in his memories of Mr. Qin when suddenly, with a loud bang, his body violently slammed forward. Oh no, someone hit us from behind. The bodyguard's expression changed slightly. The car was driving normally on the outer ring road, and there were no cars following them. Suddenly, at a fork in the road, a Toyota Prado came out of nowhere and directly rear-ended them. The car didn't seem to have any intention of stopping. It was as if it wanted to squeeze their car downhill. Luckily, the driver was an experienced elite. At the critical moment, he turned the steering wheel and made a sharp turn. Then, with a bang, a gunshot rang out. Oh no, we've been ambushed. Hurry up and protect Miss Hua. The bodyguard in the lead yelled. Then, he pressed Huamin's head down. Huamin didn't have time to react. He could only hear bullets raining down on him. Suyu was analyzing the company's data in his mansion when his phone rang. Boss, something bad happened to Miss Hua, and said anxiously. What did you say? Suyu stood up immediately, his expression dark. Chapter 1677. Miss Hua was escorted to Seductive Fox by the commander's men today, but she was attacked on her way back. Where is she? Suyu's heart was about to jump out of his chest. Luckily, the commander's men were very strong and defeated the enemy. Can't you say it all in one breath? Damn, you scared me. Suyu immediately let out a sigh of relief. But Miss Hua was injured in the gunfight, and added. Suyu's brain buzzed again. Can't you say it all in one breath? Are you trying to kill me? Suyu thought that if his heart wasn't good, he would have died by now. These few pieces of news were like a roller coaster ride, driving him crazy. Where's Huamin right now? He's already been sent to the military hospital. Suyu immediately hung up the phone. He didn't even have time to put on his jacket before he pushed open the door and left. He drove his Lamborghini at a high speed. It took him less than 10 minutes to drive such a long distance. It was obvious how fast he drove. Outside the military hospital, when Suyu walked in, he saw his mother talking to the doctor at the door. "Mom, how's Min?" Suyu was panting heavily. It was obvious that he ran all the way in and didn't even have time to rest. "He's fine now. His calf was just grazed by a bullet. It's just a superficial wound." "Where's the baby?" "The baby's fine." That's good, that's good." Suyu finally let out a sigh of relief when he heard this. "Go in and see her." After Mrs. Su finished speaking, Suyu pushed open the door and walked in. To his surprise, he saw his grandfather here as well. "You little brat, you're here." Lord Su turned around. "Grandpa, aren't the bodyguards you sent a bit too weak? How could 4 of them get injured?" Suyu complained. Min immediately explained, "It's not Lord Su's fault. Don't blame him." "Shut up. I'll deal with you later." Suyu glared at Min. He was really angry. Min was so frightened that he immediately shut his mouth obediently, not daring to say another word. She had rarely seen Suyu so frightening. "Brat, you still have the nerve to say this. If your bodyguards went this time, they would probably be wiped out. Do you know what kind of firepower they have?" "What kind of firepower?" Suyu was especially curious after hearing his grandfather's words. 5 off-road vehicles, a total of 20 people, all armed with guns, agile and well-trained. It can be said that, I'll skip 10,000 words here, you can imagine the scene yourself. After Lord Su finished speaking, Suyu was about to go crazy. If someone else had said this, he might not have believed it. However, his grandfather was the leader of the army. His words were like nails, and he definitely wouldn't be an alarmist. "Are you dumbfounded?" Seeing that his grandson didn't speak, Lord Su continued to ask, How is that possible? That kind of firepower." So you didn't dare to imagine what kind of scene it was. His grandfather only had 4 people, and they had to protect Min while facing 20 people. This is simply unconscionable. "Min, what Grandpa said is true, right?" So you glanced at Min again. Min nodded. "It's true. I was really scared at that time. Luckily, the people that Lord Su sent to protect me were very strong. We quickly broke out of the encirclement and escaped danger. However, 2 of them were shot. I feel very guilty. If I didn't stubbornly insist on going out to look for Rick, this wouldn't have happened. I want to apologize to Lord Su and those big brothers." After hearing what Min said, there was no doubt that it was true. Chapter 1678. Lord Su waved his hand. "It's not your fault. I didn't think that someone would dare to attack you so openly. It's my fault. If I had known, I would have tightened the defense. The 2 bodyguards are fine. They're both from special forces and have great physical fitness. They weren't shot in the vital areas and will recover soon. Don't feel burdened. You, on the other hand, can't be anesthetized even though you're injured. You're quite capable, girl." When Lord Su came in to check on Min, the military doctor was applying medicine to her wound. Since she couldn't be anesthetized during pregnancy, it was especially difficult to treat her wound. Min gritted her teeth and didn't frown at all. She insisted on cleaning her wound and changing the medicine. Lord Su truly admired this child's strength. "Where's the wound?" "Let me see." Suyu walked over and carefully lifted the blanket. Min's calf was wrapped in bandages and looked quite scary. "I'm fine, don't worry." "You keep saying that you're fine, but what happened in the end?" Suyu began to scold her. Lord Su saw the opportunity and stood up to leave. He wanted to give the 2 of them some space to talk. Suyu stared at Min. After a while, his face was filled with anger. "Look at you. I'm sorry I was wrong. I won't do it again. I shouldn't have acted on my own. I thought that I would be fine if I went out so late. I did have to deal with some difficult matters on Rick's side, but I neglected the fact that the person who wanted to attack me was so impatient. I made you, Annie Su, and Lord Su worry. I'm sorry." Before Suyu could speak, Min opened her mouth and said a bunch of things. Suyu was speechless. "You're asking for a beating. I'm pregnant now. You can't hit me." Min laughed. "You still have the face to laugh. I really want to strangle you. You scare me so much that my soul almost flew away." thinking of his appearance just now. Suyu was really angry to the point that his teeth itched. Isn't everything fine now? So don't worry. Hua Xiqian, that bastard must be tired of living. Instead of living a good life, he has to go against me. Suyu finally remembered that Hua Xiqian was the instigator of this incident, so he scolded Hua Xiqian. Huamin shook his head. This time, it's not Hua Xiqian. Not him. Who else could it be? Suyu was slightly startled. Although Hua Xiqian's methods are despicable, he won't kill me. He could only kidnap me halfway. But this group of people wants me dead. So the mastermind behind this incident is Song Qinghua. So you directly mentioned Mayor Song's name. Yeah, it should be him. I underestimated him. Huamin said faintly. If it's him, then I can only say that he ate the guts of a leopard. The Su family wants to protect people, but he wants to kill them. He's openly going against the Su family. I'm pissed. Don't think that he's some mayor. Even if he's a governor, I wouldn't care about him. So you calm down. Don't do anything rash. It's okay. I have my ways to deal with these self-righteous big shots. At the same time, inside the Song family mansion, what a bunch of trash. All trash. Mayor Song was furious. It wasn't easy for him to find an opportunity to make a move. So many people went, including the so-called elites, but they didn't manage to kill Huamin. Instead, they were all killed. The corpses were all secretly disposed of by Commander Su's men, leaving no chance for the news to leak. Chapter 1679. Mayor, you can't blame them. They really gave it their all. We were completely wiped out this time. The Su family only sent 4 people, but they're all very powerful. I heard that only 2 of them were shot. As for the woman, she was only lightly injured. I don't want her to be lightly injured. I want her to die. Mayor Song said viciously. Mr. Mayor, this isn't our fault. The Su family is too powerful. I think we should let it go for now. The Su family can't protect her forever. We can wait until she leaves before we make a move. I can't wait that long. I heard that she's pregnant. I can't let her give birth to the baby. The devil who killed my daughter doesn't have a right to be arrogant in this world. Mayor Song hated Huamin to the core. He wanted Huamin to die immediately. However, things didn't always go according to plan. He was very angry that they didn't succeed despite all their preparations. The Hua family mansion. When Hua Xiqian heard the news, his face turned gloomy. After 5 seconds of silence, he kicked the mahogany desk in front of him over. With a loud bang, his subordinates were so scared that they didn't dare to make a sound. Song Qinghua, that old fox. I think he's tired of living. He wants to be with his dead daughter. Boss, Song Qinghua really wants to kill Miss Hua. But the Su family is really powerful. They were able to break through under such heavy firepower. When we arrived, they had already left. Of course, do you think the Su family is easy to deal with? Hua Xiqian glared at his subordinates. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. How's Mian now? She's only lightly injured. She's at the military hospital. The hospital is under lockdown. No one is allowed to enter or leave. I think the Su family is really nervous this time. Okay, I got it. Boss, are we going to do something to Song Qinghua? You don't have to. I have my own plans. Hua Xiqian's face darkened as he sent his subordinates away. He took out his phone and looked at Huamin's old photos, feeling slightly distressed. Now that Mian was pregnant, she couldn't take any hormones. Even a light injury would hurt a lot, right? At the entrance of a university dormitory in C-City CC, was about to fall asleep when she received a call from Rick saying that he was downstairs. She immediately put on her clothes and ran down. Then, she ran straight into Rick's arms like a little bird. Rick lowered his head and asked coldly, "Were you the one who called Huamin to come to Seductive Fox?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because I saw that you were depressed. So I wanted her to comfort you. You know, Huamin has a high IQ and EQ. What she says always makes sense. Everyone likes her. Is there any other reason?" Rick's face remained cold. "No. What's wrong?" Cece was confused. Huamin was ambushed and almost killed on his way back. "What?" Cece's eyes widened as she looked at Rick in disbelief. "Don't you know?" "How would I know?" "Rick, what do you mean by that?" It's obvious. After Huamin moved into the Su family, everything was fine. Her friends would visit her regularly, or she would ask Suyu to take her out. But you picked a time when Suyu wasn't home, and it was late at night, so you asked Huamin to come out. You were afraid that they would be on guard on the way here, so you didn't do anything. When they went back, they were more relaxed, so you started your plan. You were in charge of pretending to be stupid and tricking Huamin into coming out. Right? Rick, you think of me that way? Tears glistened in Cece's eyes. His heart turned cold in an instant. Chapter 1680. Isn't it? Don't tell me you had nothing to do with it. That's too much of a coincidence. Huamin was attacked as soon as she came out. Did you know that she almost died? She was already in trouble because of me. If something happened to Huamin because of me, I'm afraid I'd rather die than live. Huamin is pregnant. Yelling C, do you have a conscience? After a long silence, Cece looked up at Rick with tears on her face. If I said it wasn't me, would you believe me? Why should I believe you? Why can't you be the one who lied to me and almost killed my friend? Maybe Rick was too worried about Huamin's safety, so he said those harsh words to Cece. Although he didn't mean to say those words, fine. If you say so, then it's what you think. Whatever you think is the truth, okay? So, you really did it? Rick thought that Cece betrayed Huamin's whereabouts. If you say so, then so be it. Cece also threw a tantrum and argued with Rick. As soon as she finished speaking, Rick raised his hand and pointed a black gun at Cece's head. Cece looked at Rick in shock and then closed her eyes, heartbroken. Shoot me. Boss, you can't kill Miss Cece. We're still investigating and we don't know the truth yet. Rick's subordinates couldn't stand it anymore and kept trying to persuade him. The two of them stared at each other for about 10 seconds. Rick put down the gun. Go, I won't kill you, but don't do it again, and don't let me see you again. After saying that, Rick turned around and left. That black overcoat was particularly dazzling in the night. Rick, you bastard, I hate you. I don't ever want to see you again. Cece was crying behind him. Cece's loud cries came from behind him, and Rick's heart started to ache, but he didn't look back. Instead, he got into his Ferrari and left the campus. Cece stood there for a long time. She watched Rick leave. He had just said that she had betrayed Huamin, but he did not believe her. He even pointed a gun at her head and threatened to kill her. He even said that he never wanted to see her again. Cece felt as if her heart had been broken into pieces after dating Rick for so long. She knew that he was cold and aloof, so she took the initiative to be enthusiastic. In order to maintain the interaction between the two, Rick would occasionally do some childish things. For example, he accompanied her to watch a movie and booked the entire theater to watch it. It was cold and cheerless. He even chose a particularly boring cartoon called Pleasant Goat and Big Big Wolf. Cece laughed so hard that her stomach hurt, but those were not her cup of tea. Her cup of tea was the new version of Big Head Son, Little Head Father. Cece cried even harder at the thought of the sweetness of the past. However, she suddenly thought of an important point. Rick said that Huamin was almost shot to death. So how is she now? Now that things had come to this, she couldn't ask Rick anymore. Cece cried as she took out her phone and called Huamin, but she found that her phone was turned off. At the hospital, Suyu, give me back my phone. No way, go to sleep. Suyu forcibly confiscated Huamin's phone and turned it off. You're so unreasonable. I'm going to tell Lord Su. I won't let you see Grandpa again today. Mrs. Su, help. Suyu is bullying me. Huamin cleverly shouted at the door. Chapter 1681. It's no use calling me Mom. She's on the side of reason. You can ask her to be the judge and see what's wrong with a patient playing with her phone instead of sleeping, Suyu said confidently. Just then, Mrs. Su opened the door and walked in. Mion, are you talking to me? Annie Su. It's nothing. I'm just playing with Suyu. Huamin smiled awkwardly. She didn't really want to tell on him. She just wanted to threaten Suyu, but she didn't manage to do so. You too. How old are you? You still think you're kids. You, don't bully Mion. I didn't bully her. Suyu was still arrogant. Then, Mrs. Su walked out of the room and continued to discuss Hua Min's habits with the doctor and what to watch out for. Su, I'm not playing with my phone. I want to call Rick. Why are you calling him? I'll tell him what you want to tell him. I just want to tell him not to suspect Cece. I was ambushed for no reason today. Rick will definitely suspect that Cece tricked me out. Then how do you know she didn't do it on purpose? Su looked at Hua Min curiously. Cece and Rick have known each other for a long time. Rick is a cautious person. He would have investigated Cece's background. They've known each other for so long. If there was something wrong, he would have noticed it a long time ago. Plus, if Cece is really a mole and sold out my schedule to Mayor Song, then we could suspect that Mayor Song arranged for her to be by Rick's side. But when they met, Song Yisher wasn't dead and she wasn't married to Hua Siqian. What's the point of Mayor Song doing this? Su nodded. That makes sense. But she could also be Hua Siqian's woman. Hua Min was so angry that he laughed. Are you stupid? If she was one of Hua Siqian's people, would she dare to lure those assassins over to kill me? Even though Hua Siqian wants to kill me, I don't think he wants me to die. If Cece was one of his people and dared to do this, she would have been chopped into pieces by Hua Siqian. Yes, that's right, that's the logic. Su couldn't help but admire Hua Min. Then, do you mean that the girl named Cece was used by someone? Su asked again. Hua Min nodded. Of course. Cece is very innocent. She definitely didn't think too much about it when she came to me. I suspect that Song Qinghua must have arranged for his men to be near your house. Once they discover my whereabouts, they will immediately take action. And Cece is just a scapegoat. She doesn't know anything. That's very likely, but that old bastard Song Qinghua, he's bold enough to place his men around my house. Starting tomorrow, I'll start clearing out the area within 5 kilometers of my house. I'll make sure that not even a blade of grass grows. Let's see which bastard dares to hurt you. Su was really anxious tonight. If anything happened to Hua Min, he would have even dared to break into Song Qinghua's country, put a gun to his head, and shoot him to death. Anyway, this time, it's all thanks to Lord Su's men. If it weren't for them, I would have been dead. I won't be so stubborn in the future. I'm really sorry, Su. Actually, if you scolded me, I would have felt worse. Hua Min apologized again. Chapter 1682. Hua Min, you don't have to apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. You had your reasons. Rick feels guilty about what happened to Qin Shu. He's been depressed and can't get over it. It's normal for you to talk to him. Plus, it's better to talk to him face to face than over the phone. With Rick's identity, he can't come to our house to see you. If the military finds out that my family is related to him, my grandpa will be investigated. So it's not your fault. It's just that those people are too crazy. After calming down, Su didn't blame Hua Min. Hua Min was a person with a sense of propriety, and this time, he had his reasons. That's not right. I should have asked you to come with me. Hua Min blamed himself. If you asked me, we might have all been killed. My bodyguards aren't as strong as my grandpa's, Su said with a smile. Hua Min smiled as well. He knew that Su was just comforting him. Thank you for understanding me. Hua Min felt warmth in his heart when he saw how much Su understood him. Don't praise me. I can't give you the phone. Just go to sleep. I'll call Rick and explain things to him. Okay, you win. Seeing how determined Su was, Hua Min smiled helplessly. Then, he lay down on the bed to rest. Rest well. We'll go back tomorrow morning. Su comforted Hua Min. Okay. When he walked out of the room, Mrs. Su was still at the door. You should go first. Leave this to me. I'll take care of Mian. It's okay, Mom. You should go back and rest. I'll stay with her. Mrs. Su seemed hesitant. I'm too worried about what happened today. I'll be more at ease. You should go back. Okay, then. Take Mian home tomorrow morning. Grandpa is worried about her. I know. After Mrs. Su left, Su picked up Hua Min's phone and called Rick. He repeated Hua Min's analysis to Rick. That's what happened. Hua Min was worried that you would misunderstand that girl, so he asked me to tell you. Okay, got it, Rick said, and the two of them hung up. Boss, didn't we check it ourselves? This has nothing to do with Miss Cece. Song Qinghua has already placed spies outside the Su family mansion. Even if Miss Wood didn't come to see you today, she would have been ambushed if she met someone else. Miss Cece was just used by someone else. She must be very sad about what you did to her. Then be sad. Actually, it's good for Cece to leave me. Rick said faintly, Boss. I knew it wasn't her. I've known her for so long. How could I not see through her? It's just that. I think it's too hard for Cece to be with me. I can't be with her most of the time. I can't do the things a normal boyfriend should do. I can't watch movies, go shopping, go to the amusement park, and drink coffee. I can't even do simple things like that. I have to be careful with everything I do, and most of the time, she's in my office at Seductive Fox. Last time, when she was taken away by Hua Xiqian, I thought that I would find a chance to break up with her. I don't want to drag her into this anymore. She's just an ordinary person, and I don't want to drag her into this. I don't want her to live a life of violence with me. That's it. It's good for both of us. After speaking, Rick turned around and walked away. His subordinates were sad to see their boss like this, but their boss was right. To put it bluntly, what if they had enemies in the future and made a move on Miss Cece? They wouldn't have a good ending inside the military hospital after Huamin fell asleep. So you took out his laptop and sat on the sofa, working and watching over Huamin. There were 8 bodyguards on duty outside the door. Just then, Suyu's phone rang. Lord Su, what's going on? I heard that Huamin was shot. Wei Liao called. Chapter 1683. Amicham, oh my God, what's going on? Gao Ran just called my house, and she was scared out of her wits. Tell your wife that Huamin is fine. It's just a scratch. I'll tell you the details when I see her. All right, then. It's really an eventful time. You should be careful, too. Okay. After hanging up the call with Wei Liao, Suyu continued to work. By the time he was done, it was already 2 in the morning. He got up slightly, stretched, and walked towards Huamin's room. Looking at the sleeping Huamin, Suyu suddenly felt very happy. As long as he could quietly accompany Huamin, he would be satisfied. Sometimes, he even wished that Qin Chu would never appear again. That way, he would have a reason to stay by Huamin's side and take care of her. However, he also knew that Huamin loved Qin Chu very much. If Qin Chu didn't come back, then Huamin would be very sad. She probably wouldn't be truly happy for the rest of her life. Therefore, Suyu sincerely hoped that Qin Chu would come back. However, he also wished that time could slow down a little, just a little, so that he could spend more time with Huamin. Good night, my beloved girl, Suyu said gently as he looked at the sleeping Huamin. Then, he turned around and walked out, gently closing the door behind him. The next day, at 6 in the morning, Suyu secretly brought Huamin back to the Su family and left the military hospital. In the future, there would be doctors coming to take care of Huamin's checkups. After this incident, the Su family decided not to let Huamin leave the house so easily. At noon, while Huamin was taking a nap, Mrs. Su quietly pulled her son to the side. What's the matter? Why are you being so mysterious? Huamin likes spicy food a lot. I asked the doctor, and he said he's fine. So, I was wondering if there's a place that sells hot and sour noodles, since you always go out to eat hot and sour noodles? Suyu was surprised. Yeah, Mian was watching TV this morning, and I saw a girl eating hot and sour noodles. She looked like she really wanted to eat it. You can even tell. Suyu was speechless. Of course, I'm also a woman. When I was with you, I especially liked to eat some sour and spicy food. Anyway, can you buy it? This shouldn't be a problem. Then go quickly. Remember to buy it back tonight. Okay. After leaving home, Suyu went straight to GK, President Su, and walked into the office. Has the whole corporation been up to anything lately? Suyu asked. I heard that Ai Yang's agent, one of GK's artists, jumped ship to the whole corporation and took a lot of artists with her. Oh? Did she break up with Ai Yang? Yeah, that seems to be the case. As for Ai Yang, I still haven't heard anything about him terminating his contract. There's basically no one left in GK right now, and GK, which is under the control of the U.S. headquarters, is like a pool of stagnant water. and Yang has so much potential that a lot of companies want to sign him, but he hasn't done anything yet. I think that's one of the reasons why he and his manager broke up. Then it's probably because of Huamin, and Yang and Huamin are very close, so you slowly analyzed. It's also possible the whole corporation is in the limelight right now. Ingzi is a top agent and is very good at creating stars. I heard that the whole corporation is going to produce a best actor and a best actress this year. They're selecting from interns. Let them be. I really don't want to deal with people like Huasiqian. Then are we going to do something big? And ask. Chapter 1684. I don't need it. Go tell the others that we'll have a meeting in 5 minutes. Okay. 5 minutes later, Suyu appeared in the meeting room in a white suit. All the executives were shocked. It seemed like President Su hadn't attended a meeting in the company in a long time. After finishing his work, just as the meeting was about to end, Suyu looked around. Suddenly, he asked, "Does anyone know where I can get some hot and sour noodles?" All the executives froze. Ahem. President Su is asking you a question, and reminded everyone. President Su, I know one. It's on Wacy Road, behind the Jaha Commercial Building. There's a place called Indian Hot and Sour Noodles, and it's very crowded. They have really good biscuits, and have been there for many years. I used to go there when I was in college, and it was really good. The person who spoke was a supervisor from the administrative department. Suyu nodded. Okay, thank you. That's all for today. Dismissed. When Suyu turned around and left, all the executives were talking about him. President Su seems to be a little weird lately. Yeah, even a super rich guy would eat at a roadside stall. Is he in a relationship? Is he buying it for his girlfriend? All girls like to eat this kind of stuff. After Suyu got off work, he drove to Wacy Road. Tang Chuan called him and put on his Bluetooth headset. Lord Su, let's go out tonight. My bro opened a new place, and it's really lively. I heard there are beauties from 6 countries. Want to drink tonight? No. Suyu decisively refused. Why not? Tang Chuan was surprised. I don't have time. Fuck. You rejected me so quickly. I really want to slap you to death. It's one thing for Wei Liao to reject me, but he has a wife and kids. Why are you pretending? Tang Chuan began to complain. Before Suyu could answer, he suddenly thought of something and smiled evilly. Oh, I know. You're going home regularly because Huamin is home, right? What does it have to do with Huamin? Am I wrong to go home? I miss my old man. I miss my mother. Bullshit. Do you think I don't know you? In the past, you didn't even go home once a month. Now you come home every day. No matter how hard it is, it doesn't affect your restless heart. Go, go, go. Don't talk nonsense with me. I'm driving. Okay, then I'll leave you to it. Huh? Tang Chuan stopped teasing Suyu. Suyu bought a scallion pancake and a bowl of hot and sour noodles from the Indian hot and sour noodle stall. Then he sped home immediately, afraid that the hot and sour noodles would turn cold. When he returned, Huamin was upstairs organizing the items needed for the newborn. They were all gifts from everyone, and there were a lot of them. Mrs. Su also bought a lot, and Huamin organized them one by one. Suyu knocked on the door. Dr. Hua, I bought you dinner, Suyu said jokingly. You're back. Huamin smiled. Hot and sour noodles. Do you want some? How did you know I wanted some? Huamin looked a little surprised. Don't worry about that. Here, eat, it's still warm. Suyu carried the food over and placed it on the coffee table. Huamin walked over, sat down, opened the bag, and smelled the delicious aroma. Then he began to eat with relish. Huamin, I found a key problem, Suyu said awkwardly. What problem? Huamin looked up. Chapter 1685. Do you want to have a natural birth or a C-section? Ahem. Why are you suddenly asking this? Huamin was slightly surprised that someone as rough as Suyu would ask such a technical question. I just happened to hear about it. Make your choice, and I'll arrange for an obstetrician. If the fetus is in the right position, the umbilical cord isn't wrapped around the baby's neck, my health allows it, and the baby isn't too heavy, of course I want to have a natural birth. Natural birth is the natural way to reproduce. but I heard it's very difficult. Are you sure? Su Yu's heart ached. I'm not afraid. For the babies, it's worth it. Huamin bit her lip and replied, Okay, I understand. I'll talk to the military hospital and find the best obstetrician to help you. Okay. Huamin nodded. She didn't want to say too many polite words, because it would sound pretentious. Su Yu had done too much for her. It wasn't something that could be repaid with just thank you. Oh, right, there's one more thing I want to talk to you about. So you thought of something else. What is it? GK Entertainment has stopped operating. All the artists left. And Yang's former manager, Ingzi, brought a lot of people to Huasiqian. I heard that Huasiqian paid her double the signing fee. So, and Yang is the only one left. He didn't leave, but he doesn't have any shows. You can think of a plan. Su Yu finished explaining the company's current situation in one breath. Upon hearing this, Huamin fell slightly silent. After a while, she looked up and said, Su Yu, can you sign an Yang? Give me a higher price, and I'll give you the extra money. Don't mistreat him. That kid is really kind. Huamin knew that Yang didn't leave because of her, so she felt a little guilty. If he's willing, of course I want to sign him. Yang is a superstar. Money aside, I won't treat him badly. I'll definitely give him a high salary, but the premise is that he has to be willing to come. I think it's better if you personally come. Then can you bring him to meet me tomorrow? All right, 10 p.m., in a clubhouse owned by the Huo Corporation. After Huasiqian finished his meal with the client, he asked someone to send the client off. Then, he returned to the huge private room. He picked up a glass of red wine. Is there any news? Have you found him yet? No. Have you searched all the nearby islands? Have you asked all the fishermen? Are you sure you haven't saved a man before? Huasiqian asked coldly. I've asked and searched all the islands. No one has saved anyone before. Boss, maybe Qin Shu is really dead. I think we're overreacting. That's impossible. Keep looking. As long as we don't find his body, I'll be worried. Huasiqian hadn't been sleeping well lately. He always woke up in the middle of the night. He kept dreaming about Qin Shu stabbing him with a knife. It was such an inauspicious dream. How's the other thing I asked you to do? I've already started. I'm just waiting for Song Qinghua to take the bait. Good? That old bastard. I won't give him another chance to do anything to Mian. After speaking, Huasiqian finished his glass of red wine and slowly stood up. Has there been any news from Su Yu lately? Huasiqian suddenly thought of Su Yu, who had been quiet all this time. Su Yu comes back to the Su family mansion every day after work. He's very punctual. He's pushed away almost all of his social engagements, and the vice president went to deal with business matters. Huasiqian knew that he went to accompany Huamin every day after work. For a moment, he felt extremely jealous. With a crack, the empty cup at his hand shattered into pieces in his palm. He used to be jealous of Qin Shu, and now he was jealous of Su Yu. Why wasn't he the one by Mian's side? At the Su family mansion, when Huamin came out of the shower, he received a WeChat message from Zhu Lingling. Girl, I discussed it with the stinky cop. We think the 16th of next month is a good date, so we're getting married. Huamin was overjoyed. Chapter 1686. Wow, that's fast. Huamin's voice was filled with happiness. I met their parents a long time ago. Both of their families are really pushing me. Plus, didn't you add fuel to the fire last time? That big diamond ring. I love you to death. That's not a problem, as long as you like it. Huamin smiled faintly. But what I'm worried about is, how are you going to appear in a public place with so many people? Can you appear? Zhu Lingling asked worriedly. I'll discuss this with Su Yu and come up with a solution. Don't worry. Okay. Anyways, I really hope that you can witness my happiness. It's too bad that you and Xiaowei are both married. Otherwise, would you be my bridesmaid? Oh, you're so annoying. It doesn't matter if I'm your bridesmaid or not. The most important thing is that you're happy. Mian, I didn't even dare to think that after all these years, I would still be together with Gao Ran. When we were in school, we both had feelings for each other. But after you and Qin Shu broke up, we both realized that love is so unreliable. Sometimes, it's not even as reliable as friendship. So, In the end, we kept all our words and feelings to ourselves. I thought, I just live my life a little more like a normal person. I don't have the IQ and EQ of you and Xiaowei. I'm always impulsive and don't think about the future. That's why I was so careless in making friends and almost got you into trouble. Good thing I didn't completely lose myself. Good thing I met Gao Ran in time. I, Zhu Lingling, don't have any big ambitions in this life. I don't want to be rich. I just want to live a peaceful life. Having a man who loves me, an obedient child, and a few bosom friends. I'm satisfied with this life. Lingling, I just realized today that you're pretty good at writing. Humin smiled. Fuck, aren't I touched? I'm sorry. Saying these things in front of you is like showing off in front of an expert. Zhu Lingling was a little embarrassed. No, you're right. In fact, not many people in this world can still be with their young lovers. The chances are slim. The good thing is that our hearts haven't changed, and we still believe in the beauty of our youth. Gao Ran is a good person, and he's a reliable person. He treats you well, so cherish him and be gentle in the future. Huh, that's for sure. I was worried at first because Gao Ran's father, he's such a high-ranking official. My family is just a commoner, so I thought it might not be a good match. But now I don't have to worry anymore. His parents are really nice to me. They've never looked down on me because of my family background. Of course not. If you don't try it for yourself, you'll never be able to prove it with your guesses. The world needs people with courage. Only people with courage can obtain the ultimate happiness. Huomin slowly told Zhu Lingling about her views on love. Zhu Lingling was very obedient to Huomin, so she kept nodding. I'm really flattered. Gao Ran's family didn't say anything about our wedding. They just gave us a couple 100,000 yuan as a wedding gift. They even prepared a duplex apartment for us on Second Ring Road. His mother even said that she'd get me a new car, but I don't think it's too high profile. Gao Ran's just the captain of the criminal police force, so driving a Jaguar is already very expensive. We're already very satisfied. What about you? Are you still working as a flight attendant? Chapter 1687. Of course, we're all individuals. We don't have to depend on others to survive. I can't be a pampered rich lady. That's not my personality. I really like being a flight attendant. And in a few years, I might even become a flight attendant. I don't want to be a burden to Gao Ran. I want to be outstanding and be qualified to stand beside him. Just like how you work hard to be outstanding and stand beside Mr. Qin. Huomin fell silent at the mention of Qin Chu. Mian, are you still thinking about Qin Chu? And Macham, then, have you thought about what you'll do if he really dies? Are you going to wait forever? Zhu Lingling didn't dare to ask before, because she was afraid that Huomin would get hurt. But now it seemed like Huomin had already predicted this outcome. That was why she dared to ask nervously. Lingling, actually, I've already thought about it. If Qin Chu really doesn't come back, then I'll raise our child well and fulfill my responsibility as a mother. Then, when the time is right, I'll go to the other world to find him. What about Su Yu? He's been so good to you. Are you really not going to give him a chance? Zhu Lingling was Qin Chu's die-hard fan, but after so many things happened, she also admired Su Yu. He pulled Huomin back from the brink of death time and time again. Everyone saw his sincerity. Upon hearing Su Yu's name, Huomin fell silent again. I might never be able to repay Su Yu's kindness in this lifetime. Huomin only said one sentence. Zhu Lingling immediately understood what he meant. And Macham, no matter what, I'll support your decision. As your good friend, I'll support you unconditionally for the rest of my life. I'll always agree with your decisions and respect them. All right, stop being so sentimental. Let's get down to business. On the 16th of next month, which hotel? Gao Ran's family said that they want to keep a low profile. They booked the Huaxiao International Convention Center Hotel. What time does it start? The ceremony starts at 9 in the morning, but I hope you'll be there early. All right, I got it. Then I'm going to be busy these days. Geez, you can't go out. Otherwise, you can help me. Xiao Wei is pregnant. You two are so troublesome. Huomin smiled, but didn't say anything. After hanging up the call with Zhu Lingling, Huamin tidied up and went to bed. The next morning after breakfast, Mrs. Su took the nanny to buy ingredients. She didn't know where she heard that it was good for pregnant women to eat more fish. Mrs. Su began to think of ways to buy wild fish for Huamin. Lord Su had gone to the capital for a meeting. Huamin was the only one left in the huge Su family. All that was left were the nanny and the bodyguards. When Su came in with N.I. Yang, Huamin was patiently arranging flowers. Huamin, sis. N.I. Yang saw Huamin and felt touched. Hey, you're here. Come and sit. You two talk first. I'm going upstairs to get something. So you found an excuse and left, giving them enough space. What's in your hand? Huamin saw that Suyu was carrying a bamboo basket. Oh, my mom asked me to get you some free-range eggs. She raised a free-range chicken and said it's very nutritious. Thank your mom for me. Huamin smiled. N.I. Yang was wearing a handsome beige casual outfit and sat next to Huamin. How are you getting along with Jia? Lately, Huamin looked at N.I. Yang and asked. Chapter 1688. Pretty good. My mom hasn't been feeling well these days, so Jia comes to my house every day after work at South Side to cook for us. Shui really likes her. That's good. Huamin smiled and continued to arrange flowers with her head down. Sis, you asked President Su to see me because you have something to tell me, right? N.I. Yang knew that Huamin was in a special situation and couldn't see her easily. Otherwise, she would be in trouble. Yeah, GK has been taken over. GK Entertainment doesn't even exist. It's seriously hindering your career. I'm not afraid. It's good to take this opportunity to leave the entertainment industry. Dummy, you're still young and have so many fans who love you, and you love singing so much. Why would you leave the entertainment industry? I heard about Ingzi. She brought people to Huasiqian. Upon hearing this, N.I. Yang's face darkened. I'm never going to talk to her again. I didn't think she'd be such a greedy person. In this world, there are some people who only care about benefits and benefits. Everyone has their own choices. What she chooses is her own business, and I won't blame her. But you, I can't mistreat you. You signed with GK because of me. Now, I'm going to arrange a better place for you. Sis, I don't want to listen to me. And Yang, you can't be willful. You're the pillar of your family. You're a man and have to support your family, your wife, and your children. You have your own career. It's not time for you to quit yet. I don't need to say much to President Su. He'll treat you better than GK. Plus, President Su has a lot of resources. Ingzi and the others won't work together to shut you out, sis. If you still think of me as your older sister, then listen to me. Huamin's words were a gamble on N.I. Yang's mouth. He knew that she was doing this for his own good. Then I'll listen to you, sis. In the end, N.I. Yang was willing to listen to Huamin's arrangements. His heart was filled with warmth and gratitude. Ever since he treated this woman as his sister, they were destined to spend the rest of their lives together. Sis, how many months until the baby is born? N.I. Yang looked curiously at Huamin's stomach. There's still a long way to go. It's only been 2 months. Does that mean there's still more than 7 months? No, there's still more than 6 months. Isn't it 10 months of pregnancy? N.I. Yang was stunned. That's what the older generation says. Actually, the baby stays in the womb for 9 months. Oh, so that's how it is. Can I know the gender now? N.I. Yang was really curious. He even made a private bet with Chun Jia to guess whether Huamin's baby was a boy or a girl. I don't know yet. Only in 4 months. Huamin smiled slightly. Wow, that's great. I'm going to be an uncle. N.I. Yang suddenly exclaimed excitedly. Of course, that's why you have to prepare gifts for the babies. I won't accept gifts or money. I'm a rich woman now. I think you're so talented, you can write a song for the babies or something. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. N.I. Yang and Huamin chatted for more than an hour. When it was about time, Suyu went downstairs. He took N.I. Yang out. Before they left, Huamin suddenly thought of something. He grabbed Suyu's sleeve and whispered, Lingling's getting married on the 16th of next month. Do you have any way for me to attend the ceremony? I really want to go. Chapter 1689. Okay, I'll think about it. Don't worry, get some rest. I'll walk an Ayang out. No matter what Min asked, Suyu would agree to it, no matter how difficult it was. After they left the Su mansion, an Ayang glanced at Suyu and said, President Su, thank you for taking care of Sister Mian all this time. You're welcome, Min and I are good friends. You don't have to thank me. Then, thank you for taking me in, President Su. And Ayang smiled humbly. You don't have to be so humble. You're a superstar now. The price is worth it. Even if Mian didn't ask, I would have signed you. After all, I'm a businessman, and I have to make money. The conversation between two men was always so simple. After seeing N.I. Yang out, Suyu went straight to the headquarters of Imperial Star. President Su, Miss Jian Tong won the Best Actress Award today. She beat all the other girls at the whole corporation. She beat Mo Shui by 30 points. Isn't she great? Jian Tong's agent chattered on to Suyu. Really? That's good, that's good. Tomorrow, all the media will report about it. Our Jian Tong is fighting for face. President Su, we have a celebration party tonight, so I'm not free tonight. Before the agent could finish, Suyu immediately rejected the invitation. But Miss Jian Tong will be very disappointed. She's working so hard for the company mostly because of you. President Su, if you're not free, you can go and say hi. Otherwise, with so many reporters here, it'll seem like you don't care about Jian Tong. Seeing this, and also try to persuade Suyu, yes, President Su, I also suggest you go and say hi. Shut the reporters up, or else I don't know what they'll say. What time? It starts at 6 p.m. at the St. Regis Hotel. Okay, I'll be there at 6. So you thought about the pros and cons, and finally decided to go. Jian Tong's celebration banquet was very grand. It was not inferior to a small banquet. Suyu said that the company would pay for all the expenses. He even gave Jian Tong a villa worth tens of millions as a reward. Jian Tong wore a peach-colored evening gown that night, revealing her voluptuous figure and young and delicate face. Many people were envious of her. After defeating Zhao Qingya, Mian, and the others, Jian Tong had become a #1 girl in Imperial Star. Suyu only wore a pair of black Italian trousers and a white Versace shirt that night, looking extremely elegant. President Su, wow. President Su is here. President Su, you're really here. You're so handsome in person. Some of the new female artists in the company had been training for a long time, but they had never seen Suyu in person. He was very low-key these days and rarely appeared at the company. Suyu walked directly to the main seat and sat down. Then, he drank a glass of wine. Today is a good day. Thank you, Jian Tong, for everything you've done for the company. Here's a toast to everyone. Jian Tong stood beside Suyu with a shy smile and raised her glass. All the other artists raised their glasses as well after a glass of wine. Suyu looked at Jian Tong and said, I have something to do, so I'm going to leave now. You guys enjoy. President Su. Jian Tong suddenly called out to Suyu. Suyu turned around, stay a little longer. Jian Tong was reluctant to leave. I have something to do. You guys enjoy yourselves. When you go to the nightclub later, just ask and assign the bill. President Su. Jian Tong called out again. This time, because her voice was very loud, it attracted everyone's attention. Suyu looked back at Jian Tong in confusion. He felt like she was a little different tonight. Jian Tong's eyes were a little complicated. She took a deep breath and shouted in front of everyone, Suyu, I like you. Chapter 1690. At that moment, the entire room fell silent. Suyu's body trembled slightly when he heard this, and who was behind him trembled as well. Jian Tong was going to confess her love to him, and she was going to do it in front of all the employees. Ahem. Suyu coughed awkwardly. No one said anything. They didn't know how the big boss would react. Jian Tong walked toward Suyu, and before he could react, she wrapped her arms around Suyu's neck, stood on her tiptoes, and kissed him. Everyone was in an uproar. Everyone's reaction was, wow. Jiantong kissed the big boss by force. Suyu reacted quickly and pushed Jiantong away by reflex. Then he smiled awkwardly and said, "You've improved your acting skills recently. You tricked everyone." Jiantong's expression turned ugly. Then, Suyu said, "Don't be fooled by Jiantong. She's just teasing you and showing off her acting skills." Then, everyone realized what was going on and heaved a sigh of relief. However, Jiantong's expression was extremely ugly. "I'm leaving. You guys eat." After Suyu said this, he turned around and left without hesitation, and looked at Jiantong sympathetically and followed Suyu out. Jiantong felt like her heart had hit rock bottom. She had done so much for Imperial Star, and Suyu had never mistreated her. He gave her money, a house, a car, and all kinds of jewelry and watches. They were all her rewards, but she didn't want any of that. What she wanted now was Suyu's love. She loved Suyu so much that she couldn't let go of him. But why did he keep her at arm's length? Was it because of Huamin? Jiantong and the others didn't know that Huamin had returned and was even living with the Su family. She thought that Huamin was still in prison. Therefore, Jiantong took advantage of the fact that she had made a contribution and put on a show in front of so many people. She just hoped that Suyu would be too embarrassed to refuse, and then the two of them could have an ambiguous start. Unexpectedly, Suyu really didn't give him any face. Although he didn't say it directly, people with discerning eyes could still see what was going on. "Tong Tong, don't worry. President Su might be in a bad mood today, haha." Her manager tried to persuade her. Jiantong didn't say a word. She returned to the main seat and continued to drink with a sullen face. "President Su, where are we going now?" Shaoan sat in the passenger seat of the Lamborghini and asked anxiously, "Do you know where I can buy tofu skewers and chicken soup?" Why do you ask?" Shaoan was startled. "Of course I'm going to buy it, but this is a roadside stall. I don't care what stall it is. I'm just asking if you can find it." "Yes, there's one in the small alley up ahead." Shaoan didn't dare to say more. If the boss said that he wanted to buy tofu skewers and chicken soup, then they would go directly. Sure enough, when the car turned into the alley, there were many stalls selling snacks. Shaoan led Suyu to an old woman's tricycle. "President Su, this is the tofu skewers and chicken soup you're looking for." Shaoan pointed at the big iron pot in the tricycle and said, "Young man, do you want tofu skewers? They're delicious. The chicken soup is ready." The old woman was very enthusiastic. "How much is it?" Suyu asked. 5 yuan a bowl." The old lady answered without hesitation. Suyu took out his wallet, took out the cash inside, and handed it to the old woman. "Here's more than 3,000 yuan. I'll buy the whole pot. Is that enough?" It's enough, it's enough." The old woman was flattered. "President Su, you want to buy a whole pot? Can you finish it? It's a waste." Shaoan was dumbfounded. Chapter 1691. "Huamin likes them," Suyu said proudly and the old lady packed up the tofu skewers. It was rare for the Su family to be so quiet. Huamin went downstairs to get a glass of water when the door opened. A man in his 50s walked in. He looked handsome and serious, and he was wearing a traditional suit. The man looked up at Huamin and hesitated. "Master, you're back?" The nanny immediately walked up to him and handed him his shoes. Upon hearing the nanny's words, Huamin immediately put down the glass and greeted him. "Hello, Uncle Su. I'm Huamin." "Immerse." Mr. Su nodded seriously and turned to go upstairs. Huamin was very cautious. Mr. Su was a little scary. When the nanny walked past her, she whispered to her, "Master is like this. Don't be afraid. He's actually a very nice person." Mr. Su was very against Huamin's decision to live with the Su family. However, in the end, the family vote was 3-1, and he lost. Huamin successfully moved into the Su family. Mr. Su was busy with work and had been managing the headquarters of the Su family bank. He hadn't come back yet, and this was the first time they officially met. Mr. Su's indifference made Huamin feel a little uncomfortable. However, just as she felt uncomfortable, she heard the door open again. So he was back. He was carrying a lot of bags. What's this? Didn't you want tofu skewers and chicken soup? How did you know? Hwamin was confused. I heard it from the nanny. I was just saying, why did you take it so seriously? Oh my God. Hwamin felt like he couldn't speak so casually in the future because Suyu would do whatever he wanted. Was he feeding pigs or humans by buying so much? Eat it while it's hot, okay. Hwamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. While eating the tofu skewers, Hwamin suddenly said in a low voice, Uncle Sue is back. He's upstairs. Do you want to go up and see him? Don't worry, that's how my dad is. He's always cold to everyone, as if someone owes him thousands of dollars. Pfft. Why are you talking about your dad like that? It's okay, he's used to it. So you didn't care. You told me today that Gao and Zhu Lingling are getting married on the 16th of next month. Yeah, Lingling called me. Gao Ren isn't an ordinary person. His father is from the provincial government. This wedding will definitely attract a lot of attention. If you go with your current identity, it might be difficult. Suyu said slowly, I know. That's why I want to talk to you. See if there's any way for me to witness their wedding without attracting attention. Hwamin looked at Suyu and said, Then there's only one way. Suyu rubbed his chin and pondered. What way? Hwamin was surprised. I can't tell you now. You'll know when the day comes. Also, don't tell anyone that you're going to the wedding. It's not that I don't trust them, but I'm just worried that something might go wrong. With your current situation, I can't let anything happen to you. So you reminded him again. Okay, I got it. As long as I can attend the wedding, I'll do anything. No matter how smart Hwamin was, he still needed Su Yu's help at critical moments. While Hwamin was looking forward to Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran's wedding, he was also silently waiting for someone to come back. Seattle, USA, Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran are getting married on the 16th of next month. Don't you want to go back and see them? The man didn't say anything. His slender suit outlined a perfect picture. Don't you want to go back and see my sister-in-law? I heard. She's more than 2 months pregnant. Qi Ning looked at the man in front of her and said word by word. Chapter 1692. Yes, our child will come to this world in a few months' time. Lin Sanjiu said. Qin Chu's eyes were extremely gentle as he spoke. So when do you plan to go back? Qin Ning looked at her brother, her heart aching. Qin Chu came back to his senses and smiled bitterly. How do you think I can go back and see her like this? I don't think she'll mind. She'll be very happy to know that you're still alive. But I mind. I'm a man, a husband, and soon a father of 2 children. How can I take care of them like this? Plus, I haven't fully investigated Hua Xiqian's situation. These are all future problems. If Hua Xiqian doesn't die, Mian will never be able to rest in peace, but you're cruel to her like this. I know she's been waiting for you. Qin Chu didn't say anything. There was a complicated look in his eyes. Big brother, is it because she's living with Suyu? Is that why you know? When I'm not by her side, Suyu is someone who can take good care of her. I know Mian's personality better than anyone else, and I'm sure she's feeling terrible. But for the sake of the baby, she'll endure it. As for Suyu, I'll never worry about him. If one day Mian really falls in love with him, then I'll let her have him. Big brother, you make it sound so easy. Is that what you're thinking? Don't you feel bad? I just want my Mian to be happy. But without you, how can she be happy? Qi Ning's eyes were filled with tears. Although she hadn't known Hwamin for long, Qi Ning knew how Qin Chu and Hwamin fell in love. She was very touched, especially when Hwamin silently took the blame for murder in order to save Qin Chu. This was not something an ordinary woman could do. Ning Ning, men and women have different definitions of happiness. I love her, but I want to love her with dignity. I don't have the confidence to give her happiness right now. I haven't dealt with Hua Xiqian yet. So, even if sister-in-law gives birth, you don't plan to go back, right? Qin Chu didn't say anything. Okay, I got it. After all, this is your own business. Big brother, you're so smart, you don't need me to tell you a lot of things. You should know better than I do. I just think that you and sister-in-law have been apart for 7 years. You've missed out on so many beautiful moments. Now, sister-in-law is pregnant. Forget it. I won't say more. You'll feel bad if I say more. I believe you'll take care of everything." After speaking, Qi Ning turned around and left in the living room downstairs. "Ning, what do you think? What did your brother say?" Lady Qin anxiously asked Qi Ning. "My brother." Qi Ning didn't finish her sentence and just shook her head. "Is it still because of that?" Lady Qin looked worried. Qi Ning nodded. "My brother's injury is in a very sensitive area. Even the top specialists in the U.S. couldn't heal it. He's an excellent doctor, but even he doesn't have a good treatment plan. He probably thinks he won't recover, so he doesn't want to see sister-in-law. He doesn't want her to worry, and he doesn't want to give her happiness. Then he's willing to let Mian take our child and live with someone else." Lady Qin's heart sank. Chapter 1693. They didn't find out about Mian's pregnancy until later on. They also knew that Mian lied to Qin Shu's father to get the surgery. But later on, she really was pregnant. The Qin family returned to the United States first. Qin Shu's uncle had the foresight and had been moving in secret. When they found out about Qin Shu's plane crash, they also thought that Qin Shu was dead. But a week later, Qin Shu appeared in the United States. It was a miracle. No one asked him what he had experienced or what had happened. Qin Shu also didn't mention what happened that day. However, Qin Shu's right knee was severely injured in the accident. They went to many top orthopedic specialists in the United States, but they couldn't heal it. Qin Shu was deeply affected by this incident and had been brooding over it ever since later on. In order to avoid being tracked down, the Qin family all changed their English names, got new passports, and lived in seclusion in Seattle. There was a very big family in Seattle, and they were Qin Shu's uncle's close friends. Therefore, they could protect them very well. This way, no one could find Qin Shu's whereabouts. That included Rick, the Lino brothers, Huasi Qian, and Lu Yin. Qin Shu wasn't very agile now and had to rely on crutches to help him walk. So, as proud as he was, he felt like he had suddenly become a cripple. No matter how much he missed Huamin, he could only bury it deep in his heart. Don't force our son. If he had a choice, he wouldn't have done this. No one is sadder than him. He loves Mian so much. Mr. Qin sighed slightly, feeling sorry for his son. Old Qin, I really want to see our grandchildren. I don't even know if they're boys or girls. Mian is alone in China with the twins and has to live under someone else's roof. How can she live like this? My heart aches so much. If we were all here, would we be able to take good care of her? Lady Qin hated the idea of Huamin living with the Su family. Even though she knew that the Su family was the safest place for Huamin, however, he always felt that if his grandchildren were to be born in someone else's family, he wouldn't feel right. Right now, the Su family is the best choice. Mr. Qin tried to comfort her. Qi Ning added, "Annie, as far as I know, the Su family treats my sister-in-law very well. You don't have to worry about that at all. There's no such thing as living under someone else's roof. If Commander Su went to such lengths to bail her out, how could she live under someone else's roof? Sigh, I just want to meet them." The Qin family was not happy in Seattle. Qin Shu went out early and came back late every day. No one knew what he was busy with. Qi Ning was also very careful. She didn't dare to go out too much and didn't dare to make new friends. She was afraid that her whereabouts and identity would be exposed. Domestic, there was a transparent glass greenhouse behind the Su family's villa. It was filled with all kinds of rare flowers, including orchids, daffodils, peonies, lilies. Lady Su liked flowers very much. Every room was decorated with fresh flowers. The greenhouse was very big. There was also a bookshelf and a place to drink tea. Huamin liked it very much. Every day, at around 10 in the morning, she would come here to bask in the sun and listen to music. She would read books, trim the flowers and plants, and drink a cup of flower tea. Her days were extremely leisurely. When Suyu came in, he saw Huamin in a white lace dress. She had her hair tied up in a bun and was sitting there quietly, trimming a pot of red roses. Her profile was very beautiful, especially under the sunlight. Suyu stood quietly at the door and looked at her. Time seemed to have frozen at that moment. Finally, Hwamin looked up and saw Suyu. When did you get here? Why didn't you say anything? She smiled. Chapter 1694. I've been here for a while. You looked so serious, so I didn't want to disturb you. Uft, come and sit down. I'll give you a taste of my honey green tea, okay? Suyu walked over with a smile and sat down on the bamboo chair. I heard a piece of gossip that I think you'll be interested in. Suyu suddenly said, I've never been interested in gossip. Lingling is the one who likes to ask. Celebrities have their own private lives, too. It's annoying to be followed by paparazzi every day. It's not easy for anyone. Hwamin thought that Suyu was going to reveal something about a celebrity. However, Suyu said, it's not about a celebrity. It's about someone you know, Rick and that female university student. Rick and Cece? What's wrong? Hwamin's interest was piqued. Rick looked up. Then, he handed over the honey green tea. Suyu took the green tea and took a sip. Then he said, as far as I know, they broke up. Broke up? Are you kidding? Hwamin thought that Rick and Cece were a good match. When they were together, they looked very loving. You're right. Because of what happened last time, Rick suspected that his girlfriend betrayed you on purpose. Didn't I tell you to call Rick and explain it to him? Hwamin was surprised. I did, but it sounds like Rick already knew the truth. As for the real reason why they broke up, it's Rick's own business. After all, no one knows what he's thinking. How did you know? That female university student has an older sister called Nie Lingxian. She's an actress in our company. She's not very famous, but she has a good reputation in the industry. She took a few days off. I heard that she went to Bali with her lost sister for a vacation. The almighty President Su, such a big sif. Why would he care about an unknown artist? Oh, don't tell me you're interested in her? Hwamin teased Suyu. Suyu immediately blushed. What nonsense are you talking about? The reason why I'm paying attention to her is because I had someone investigate Nie Lingxi in private. I want to know who she is and whether she worked for Hua Xiqian or Song Qinghua. What's the result? Hwamin smiled at Suyu while holding a cup of flower tea. In the end, I found out that she wasn't. Last time, she was just coincidentally used by someone. So, I found out about her family and paid attention to her. This is serious, but with Rick's personality, he must have his reasons for breaking up with her. I can't say anything to persuade him. He has to figure it out himself. It's not up to me to persuade him, but poor Cece, she has to bear the pain alone. Come to think of it, it's all because of me. Hwamin felt that if he hadn't put himself in danger and caused everyone to worry, perhaps Rick wouldn't have broken up with him in a fit of anger. Nonsense. You can't be blamed for this. She was the one who asked you to persuade Rick. So you was completely biased towards Hwamin. No matter what Hwamin did wrong, he would still try to understand her without reason. Have you taken care of an Ayong? Replying to your majesty, this humble one has already done as you instructed. Hearing Suyu's tone, Hwamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Lord Su, don't be so polite with me. I can't stand it. Hwamin, I have a greedy request. I wonder if you'll agree to it? Suyu looked at Hwamin's bright smile and felt like his heart was about to stop beating. What is it? Hwamin tilted his head and smiled like a blooming flower. If Qin Shu really doesn't come back, you can live with us like this and never move out, okay? It's not that you have to stay with me. I just want you to stay here forever, even if it's as my friend. Suyu's voice was unusually gentle. He was afraid that one wrong word would upset Hwamin. Chapter 1695. Suyu, you have to understand that if I don't stay with you, I won't be able to stay here forever as your friend. Sooner or later, you'll get married and have kids. When that time comes, before Hwamin could finish, Suyu anxiously interrupted him. I won't get married or have kids. Isn't it good to live like this? That's not realistic, Suyu. No, to me, this is reality. I think the current situation is very good. I'm willing to continue living like this. I don't want to destroy this beautiful situation. As for how to choose, that's my business. You just need to answer me. Will you continue living here? So you looked at Huamin expectantly. Finally, Huamin bit down on his lips and said softly, I'm sorry, I can't promise you that. Whether Qin Chu comes back or not, I can't stay here forever. After all, this isn't my home and my child's surname isn't Su. Plus, even if Qin Chu doesn't come back, I have other plans. Right now, I'm pregnant and I only care about the baby. I don't have the time to deal with Hua Xiqian. But after I give birth, I'll start investigating him. I'll find evidence to clear my name and find a way to get him punished by the law. After all, he's Song Yishi's murderer. So, no matter what, I can't stay here forever. Huamin knew that if he said it, Suyu would feel bad. But that was just what she wanted. She had never given Suyu too much of fantasy. So, this time, she wouldn't let her feelings for Qin Chu waver just because he might be dead. Okay, I understand. Disappointment flashed across Suyu's eyes. I'm sorry. Don't say sorry, you don't have to. You didn't do anything wrong. I was thinking too much. Oh, right? You said you wanted to deal with Hua Xiqian. How did you know that Hua Xiqian killed Song Yishi? How did you know that he didn't hire someone to do it? After all, he didn't have to do it himself. So you still had many doubts about Song Yishi's death. He had a different opinion from Huamin. Huamin believed that Song Yishi was killed by Hua Xiqian and that Mo Shui must have lied. When Song Yishi died, Hua Xiqian would never have been with her. However, Suyu thought that Hua Xiqian might have hired an assassin to do it. After all, as a leader, he didn't need to personally kill someone and be stained with blood. Huamin thought for a moment. Then he sat down on the bamboo chair next to Suyu and said softly, Do you remember how I stole Lin Mingyu's information? Yeah. Suyu nodded. I read Song Yishi's autopsy report in detail. It's not something an ordinary assassin could do. If it was an assassin, he could have just killed her with a knife or a gun. There's no need to be so cruel. What if it was a psycho assassin? Suyu asked. I don't think a psycho assassin would cut up the body so perfectly. It's almost as difficult as surgery. It's a waste of time to kill someone like that. I think it's evidence that Hua Xiqian left behind to frame Qin Chu. Also, Hua Xiqian is provoking Qin Chu. Provoking? So you did understand what Huamin meant. Chapter 1696. When we were in school, Qin Chu was a genius. Over the years, he did everything perfectly. Hua Xiqian never liked Qin Chu. It's not only because of me, but also because he wants to compare himself with Qin Chu. He wants to beat Qin Chu in every way. So he deliberately showed off that he could cut up a corpse so perfectly. It's a blatant provocation. I'm sure Qin Chu will see through this. If that's the case, then Hua Xiqian is the real psycho. He's not just a psycho. Remember what I told you about his split personality? When I have time, I'll continue to investigate this matter. It's really strange. Suyu nodded. Suyu, MHM, about the wedding. Huamian had just started when Qin Chu interrupted her. Suyu smiled. Don't worry, I've already contacted them. Just do as I say. Unfortunately, you can only watch the ceremony and can't go on stage. You can't let anyone recognize you either. You just need to tell Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling that you'll be there. You don't have to say anything else. Okay, upon hearing Suyu's words, Huamin felt completely reassured. Time flew by. In the blink of an eye, it was the 16th of next month. Huaxia Hotel was surrounded by reporters early in the morning. This was because Gao Ran was the only son of Director Gao. Although he was the captain of the criminal police force, he was still the son of a high-ranking official. Most importantly, the bridesmaid was Ni Yang, a superstar that Imperial Star recently signed for 500 million yuan. The bridesmaid was a little-known nurse named Chen Jie. Huamin and Zhu Lingling recommended Chen Jie and Ni Yang. Without another word, Zhu Lingling immediately used it. Because of Huamin, Ni Yang and Chen Jie were very happy and came to rehearse early. Many leaders, high-ranking officials, and famous entrepreneurs from the city and province had come. Wei Liao and his wife, Tang Chuan, Rick, and the others were all present. Hua Xiqian was dressed in a golden suit and appeared especially pompous. When he got out of the Rolls-Royce Phantom, he was accompanied by a big-breasted beauty. Rumor had it that she was the newest rising star of the Hua Corporation. The two of them graciously allowed the media to take photos of them as they walked inside. Su Yu, on the other hand, came in with Wei Liao and the others. When he met Hua Xiqian, he didn't say anything. Mayor Song had also arrived, along with his younger brother. Quite a number of people from the Song family had come. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling's wedding was very grand. Just as the bride was about to enter the stage, Zhu Lingling received a WeChat message in the dressing room. It was from Huamin. Lingling, I'm at the hotel. I'm in the crowd. Because of my special status, I can't show my face, but I will personally witness your happiness. Don't worry about me. Zhu Lingling excitedly held her phone and replied, Thank you, Mian. It was already very good that Huamin was able to come to this stage. Zhu Lingling thought that Huamin wouldn't be able to come out. Because of the attack last time, Su was furious. Since then, Huamin had never left the Su family mansion. But now, as she was lost in thought, Chen Jie opened the door and walked in. She held up Zhu Lingling's wedding dress. Lingling, it's time. The ceremony is about to start. Okay, let's go. Zhu Lingling wore a white dress and exquisite makeup. With the help of her bridesmaid, Chen Jie, she walked to the door. Romantic music slowly began to play. As the MC's emotional confession continued, Zhu Lingling walked step by step towards Gao Ran, who was standing in the middle of the stage. More than 500 people quietly watched the ceremony. Hua Xiqian lowered his head and ordered the person beside him, find a chance to get the woman beside Su Yu to me. She should be Mian. Su Yu sure is something. He's brave enough to bring her out. Ha! Okay, boss, I understand. Chapter 1697. It turned out that a girl had appeared beside Su Yu out of nowhere. She was wearing a black top hat and a black dress. Her head was very low, and she looked very sneaky. It was impossible to see her face clearly. However, her figure is very similar to Hua, means she followed Su Yu closely, and it seemed like Su Yu was very nervous about her. No one else noticed, but Hua Xiqian did. Zhu Lingling was Huamin's best friend since they were young. There was no way Huamin wouldn't come to her wedding. Therefore, Hua Xiqian made up his mind to kidnap her. On the stage, the MC asked the newlyweds to stand face to face. Gao Ran looked at the woman across from him, and his heart raced. Zhu Lingling was shockingly beautiful today. She was so stunning that he couldn't bear to look away for even a second. Groom, do you have anything you want to say to the bride? Now is the best time to confess. After the MC asked, Gao Ran, who was dressed in a black suit, picked up the microphone. He looked at Zhu Lingling excitedly and said, Poison Tongue Ling, after all these years, I've finally married you. I've gotten rid of a scourge for the people. I don't want you to harm other men in the future. I want to tell you from now on, you can be my scourge. I'm not afraid. Come on, ravage me. After Gao Ran finished his confession, the entire audience burst into laughter. The parents sitting in the first row also had awkward looks on their faces. Zhu Lingling laughed with tears in her eyes. She knew that Gao Ran was teasing her on purpose. Before the MC could say anything, Gao Ran put away the smile on his face and became serious. He looked at Zhu Lingling and said, word by word, My dear Lingling, it took us so many years to get to know each other, and then to stay together. The days we spent together are still vivid in my mind. Whether it was your wildness when you were young or your maturity and beauty now, it has always affected me and made me fall head over heels in love. From this moment onwards, you are officially my wife. You trust me wholeheartedly and give me your everything, so I will cherish you, love you, and protect you. I will use our future happiness to prove that you made the right choice today. When we are old and have many children and grandchildren, when we can still walk hand in hand, I will still hold you tightly in my arms like today and treat you like the only treasure in my life. Thank you, God, for giving me you. I love you forever. After speaking, Gao Ran didn't wait for the MC to speak. He strode over, hugged Zhu Lingling, and kissed her passionately. At this moment, Zhu Lingling's face was covered in tears. Wow, our groom is so romantic. The bride is so touched that she's crying. Everyone clap. The MC shouted. The crowd erupted. Romantic music started playing again. Look at him, look at you. Why didn't you confess so gently back then? Jiang Xiaowei leaned her head against Wei Liao's chest and scolded him with a smile. Why don't we do it again at our son's 1-month-old party? Wei Liao laughed. Go. We can't ruin our son's 1-month-old party. The little guy is the star of the party. Why should we join in the fun? Everyone chatted and laughed, but no one noticed that Suyu had begun to move. After looking around, Suyu walked out from a side exit with the woman behind him. Hua Xiqian's people immediately chased after them. Hua Xiqian was also worried and didn't want to mess it up, so he followed them out. Huh, where's Lord Su? Tang Chuan turned around, but Suyu was nowhere to be seen. He felt that something was wrong. Chapter 1698. Suyu brought a mysterious woman to Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran's wedding. This caught the attention of Hua Xiqian and Song Qinghua at the same time. However, there were too many people here, so Song Qinghua didn't have a chance to make a move. However, Hua Xiqian was different. It was rare for him to have an opportunity like this, so he didn't want to miss it. Suyu and Hua Xiqian walked through the side entrance of the hotel. There weren't many people there. However, as soon as they reached the entrance, they were stopped. Suyu saw Hua Xiqian appear in front of him. President Hua, what is the meaning of this? Suyu smiled. Nothing, I just want to invite my little sister Mian to the Hua Corporation for a cup of tea and reminisce about the past. Huh, that's not necessary. I think Mian has nothing to say to you. Plus, she won't admit that you're her brother. That's not necessarily true. I think President Su shouldn't make decisions for Mian. Let her do it herself. Sure, you can talk to Mian yourself. I won't stop you. Suyu smiled. Hua Xiqian stared at the woman behind Suyu with a complicated expression. So, can you move aside? Tell Mian behind you to come out. I'm sorry. You've got the wrong person. She's not Mian. Suyu sneered. He confronted Hua Xiqian. Huh? President Su, don't joke around. Let's not waste time. After all, we're all busy, aren't we? After speaking, Hua Xiqian waved his hand. The people behind him immediately rushed up. Suyu grabbed the woman's wrist and took 2 steps back. Hua Xiqian, how dare you steal her? Suyu was furious. Suyu, you better not make me do it. I don't want to be rough with Mian either. Plus, you know that her identity is very sensitive right now. She's still on parole for murder. If people find out that she's walking around like this, it won't be good for the Su family. So, you know what to do. Hua Xiqian's intentions were clear. If he threatened Suyu and Suyu tried to stop him, Hua Min's identity would be exposed. After all, there were so many reporters here today. There might be paparazzi lurking nearby. Hua Xiqian, you say you love Mian so much? Suyu stared at him. Of course. I'm different from you guys. To me, she's the person I cherish the most in the world. I won't let anything happen to her. Of course, I don't need your protection. Mian came back to me. I'm just returning her to her rightful owner. After speaking, Hua Xiqian ignored Suyu's resistance and gave an order. Go. I have to take Mian away today. The people behind him immediately rushed up. Suyu wasn't someone to be trifled with either, and he began a fight with them. Suyu was extremely agile, and his punches were extremely fast, almost 1 punch per person. However, he was only one person, so he was distracted. Hua Xiqian took the opportunity to grab the woman behind Suyu and pull her into his arms. Mian, Suyu nervously exclaimed. Before Suyu could react, Hua Xiqian dragged the woman into a black SUV by the side of the road and quickly left. The people who were fighting with Suyu immediately retreated as well. At this moment, Suyu wasn't in a hurry to chase after them. Instead, he took out a wet towel from his pocket and wiped his hands. Then he smiled. Inside the RV, Hua Xiqian hugged the woman in the back seat of the car. He couldn't suppress his nervousness and excitement. He hugged her tightly and whispered in her ear, "Mian, I miss you so much." Chapter 1699. He saw the woman lower her head even more after hearing what he said. Huasiqian thought that Huamin was nervous and scared. Therefore, he patted the back of her hand and comforted her. "Don't be scared. I won't hurt you. No one will ever hurt you again." However, just as he was patting the back of the woman's hand, he suddenly noticed a fatal problem. There was a red mole on the back of the woman's hand. However, Huamin didn't have one. After interacting with Huamin so many times, Huamin's hands were always clean. But suddenly, Huasiqian felt a chill run down his spine. He suddenly lifted the black hat on the woman's head. He was dumbfounded. This woman wasn't Huamin. Instead, she was Su Yu's artiste, Mian, who was a B-list actress. President Mian was extremely scared. "Why are you here?" Huasiqian's face was extremely gloomy, as if he wanted to kill someone at any moment. I don't know. President Hua, if you want to sign me to the Hua Corporation, you can talk to my agent. Mian was so scared that she couldn't speak properly. "Stop the car." Huasiqian suddenly yelled. The driver slammed on the brakes and stepped on it. Huasiqian suddenly opened the car door and pushed Mian out, slamming her onto the ground. He didn't care about her at all. Mian cried out in pain. "Boss, what happened?" Huasiqian's subordinates were also dumbfounded. "We fell into a trap. So you tricked us," Huasiqian said through gritted teeth. "Then we have to go back and check out the scene. Is Miss Hua there?" "What's the point of going back now? She's long gone." Huasiqian hated himself for being too careless. He didn't think that Su Yu would use this trick. Su Yu found someone who looked like Huamin and tried to pass off the fake as the real one. So where was the real Huamin? He was probably still at the scene right now. However, Huasiqian didn't have a chance to make his move, because Su Yu was definitely more prepared. After Mian was pushed out of the car, she endured the pain and called Su Yu. "Hello, President Su, it's over. You found out that I'm a fake and pushed me out of the car. Okay, thank you for your hard work. You can act in a movie that the company is going to start filming next month," Su Yu said faintly. Mian, yeah. Su Yu had given her everything from a hostess to a celebrity. At first, like many other women, she wanted to seduce Su Yu. Even if it was just to be his bed partner, she would not have to worry about food and clothing for the rest of her life. Later, she found out that even an outstanding woman like Jian Tong couldn't get Su Yu, let alone herself. Therefore, Mian gradually had the foresight to keep a low profile. This time, Su Yu's assistant, Shaoan, contacted her and asked her to pretend to be Huamin and follow Su Yu around. It might even be a little dangerous, so she agreed without hesitation. She knew that Su Yu wouldn't mistreat her. Sure enough, it didn't matter if he was injured, but he still got what he wanted. Su Yu finished the call and let out a sigh of relief. After dealing with Huasiqian, there was nothing else to consider. No matter how brave Mayor Song was, he wouldn't dare to make a move on Huamin at a time like this. Su Yu turned around and returned to the hotel. The ceremony was still ongoing. Chapter 1700, and stood in an inconspicuous spot in the middle of the crowd. He was wearing a leather jacket. Beside him stood someone who was also wearing a black leather jacket. Just like this person was dressed like a man. However, this person was thin and small. He had a black baseball bat on his head, and there was no makeup on his face at all. However, he still looked pretty good. Huamin was disguised as a man and was brought to the center of the crowd by an early on. Su Yu brought cotton candy with him to confuse the crowd. No one would have thought that Su Yu wasn't by Huamin's side to protect her. Instead, he handed her over to him. Just then, and looked at his watch. "Miss Wu, it's about time. The crowd will disperse soon. The food will be served. Then we understand. Let's go now." Huamin's voice was very low. She had already arrived at the scene and witnessed Lingling's happiness with her own eyes. To be honest, Huamin was so touched that she cried the moment Gao Ran confessed his love for her. She suddenly thought that if only Qin Shu was here, they could watch their happiness together. She also wanted to have such a beautiful and dreamy wedding. If it weren't for that incident, she might have had a wedding with Qin Shu. But now, there was nothing left. So many things had happened in a row. Until now, Huamin still felt like she was in a dream. She quietly followed and got into the black Hummer that had been prepared beforehand from the back door of the hotel. Hummers were military vehicles in the United States, so they were custom-made and bulletproof. This was a car that Suyu had personally chosen. He was afraid that the gunfight from last time would happen again. When Huamin got into the car, Suyu was already waiting for her. When she got into the car, Suyu immediately handed her a bottle of water. "Here, drink some." "Okay." Huamin took the water and drank a few sips. Then, she quietly looked out the window. The atmosphere was a little heavy. "Did you cry?" Suyu tilted his head and looked at Huamin, whose eyes were slightly red. "Yeah, I was touched by Gao Ran. What he said was so touching. Lingling is very happy. You're pregnant, so you have to control your emotions and think about the babies." "I know." Then, Huamin looked at Suyu. "Thank you for your hard work today. You must have put a lot of effort into dealing with Huasiqian." Before Suyu could speak, and who was sitting in the front passenger seat, immediately said, "President Su, you went through a lot of trouble. You ran all over the place with your body double. Huasiqian, you had to make it look real so that he fell for it." Suyu, Su was Su. He didn't want Suyu to tell Huamin how much effort he put into this because he didn't want Huamin to feel burdened. He didn't want to give her any pressure. Time always passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, spring left and summer came. Huamin's belly also started to grow. During the summer, she would wear a maternity dress most of the time. So he would still buy a lot of things to eat at home after work every day. Then he would leave. The Su family's feelings for Huamin grew deeper and deeper, and they treated her better and better. In late August, Huamin was already 6 months pregnant. Her body also became heavier and heavier. Gradually, she got used to comforting herself while waiting for Qin Shu's return. August 22nd at around 9:30 p.m. Huamin took a shower and was about to go to bed when she received a call from Wei Liao. Huamin is slightly pregnant when Huamin was delighted. Chapter 1701. Just now. "Oh my God, that's great. Where is she now?" "She's in our private hospital." "That's great. Congratulations on becoming a father," Wei Liao. Huamin smiled with tears in his eyes. After Zhu Lingling's wedding, this was another joyous event in their circle. "Thank you. Xiaowei didn't want you to worry, so she told me to call you first." "Oh, I'm so happy that I forgot to ask. Is Xiaowei's baby a boy or a girl?" "Huamin, you're confused. We knew the gender when she was slightly pregnant." "It's a boy." "Ha, look at me. Pregnancy really makes me stupid. No wonder she said slightly that I'm not as smart as I used to be." Huamin laughed mockingly. "Was it a natural birth or a C-section?" "Natural birth, 6 kilograms. Both mother and child are safe." "That's great. I want to see her." "Slightly. It's not convenient for you to go out right now, so I don't want you to go. You can come back during the full month party, but I can live stream it for you to feel at ease." After speaking, Wei Liao switched his phone to video mode. Huamin looked at the other end of the video as Wei Liao pointed the camera at the baby. He was wrapped in a blanket and curiously looking at the world in his crib. Huamin's gaze instantly softened. His maternal instincts overflowed. "Wow, he's so cute. His eyes are so big and black. Does he look like me or slightly?" Wei Liao asked with a smile. "Right now, he looks more like you, but I don't know what he'll look like in a few months. Honey, I want to talk to Mian." Jiang Xiaowei was lying on the hospital bed, her breathing weak. She had just gone through a big labor, and it was indeed exhausting. Wei Liao immediately pointed the camera at Jiang Xiaowei slightly. "Thank you for your hard work. You finally met the baby. Huamin looked at her with a smile. Mian, if you were at that time, you should have done a C-section. Natural childbirth is too fucking hard. It hurts so much. Luckily, my son was born in less than 5 hours. The woman next door to me screamed for the whole night, but hasn't given birth yet. My heart ached when I heard that. You have 2 babies, so please don't give birth naturally. Jiang Xiaowei was the first to experience the pain of a natural birth. Therefore, he warned Huamin that he should choose to perform a cesarean. Perhaps he would feel more comfortable. Slightly. Don't worry. Although I've never given birth before, I've worked in the OB/GYN department for so long. I know everything. Although it's painful, it's also the greatest thing. Before the C-section surgery, everyone gave birth this way. Although it's more dangerous, I still want to give birth naturally. I think that as long as a woman goes through the pain of giving birth naturally, then no difficulties will be able to defeat her in the future. Of course, I'm just talking about it now. When it's time for me to give birth, I don't know if the conditions will allow it. Okay, you're an authoritative doctor. You have a point, slightly. Rest well. What you need the most right now is rest. Let the confinement nanny take good care of you. Don't worry, I'm fine. I'll be back to full health soon. How does it feel to be a mother? Huamin asked. To be honest, when I heard his cries, I wanted to cry, too. I don't know why, but I was inexplicably touched. That's normal. Every mother has this reaction. Haha. In a few days, before Huamin could finish, Jiang Xiaowei interrupted him. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.